And we're live for Fabio Wardley. Oh, sorry, I'm just getting carried away here. And we're live for Fabio Wardley versus Justis Huni. I'm just watching there. I'm distracted there. I'm watching. We've got lovely Mike Perez versus Stephen Ward. And this is a big ask for Stephen Ward because Mike Perez was a world-class fighter. And actually, I'm very familiar with both guys because Stephen Ward was also training at the gym when I was at Oliver Harrison's gym in Manchester. Unfortunately, an amazing trainer, Oliver Harrison's passed away now. And he's got someone who Oliver Harrison used to train in his corner, Jamie Moore. And Mike Perez, early in my career as an amateur, I boxed out of a gym in Newcastle called New Biggin Hall Estate Amateur Boxing Gym, which was run by the Northeast Glenn McCrory, and they had these three Cuban coach fighters who they brought over, and that was Mike Perez was one of them. Great fighter. I watched many rounds of him sparring, and he was at heavyweight at the time, and I really seen him go through some heavyweight sparring partners because he was dangerous. But we're talking about 15 years ago, and he was at his prime then, and he's 39 now, so I'm not too sure what he's got left in the tank. He's had a bit of a stop-start career. And funny enough, so Stephen Ward, to be honest. They're both at a stage in the career where they need to see what they've got left and see what they can kind of do in the sport of boxing. Because they've probably both only got a couple of years maximum left. But this is a big ask for Stephen Ward because if this fight had been even 5 years ago, it would have been far too much for Stephen Ward. Because like I say, Mike Perez is a world-class operator. He's got power, he's movement. He's got such a relaxed style as well. But don't get me wrong, because Stephen Ward is a great fighter in his own right. He went to the Commonwealth Games, and I can't remember if he medalled, but like I say, a very good amateur. Oh. Yeah, Stephen doesn't want to be trapped on the ropes. He needs to spin off those ropes and get back to space. Oh. Protect yourself at all times. We've seen this too many times before. Just ask Fraser Clark against Fabio Wardley. Oh, he's in a bit of trouble here on the ropes. He needs to try to hold. Grab a hold, or he needs to get out of that corner. You certainly don't want to be trading with Mike Perez because he's got some serious power. Let's hope. Oh, lovely right hand there from Stephen Ward. See that relaxed style from Mike Perez inside, hands low, just slips out the way. But I think that trying to unload has took a bit out the tank of Mike Perez there. He seems to be tired. I think Stephen Ward will be thankful of that. Yeah, John in the comments saying Mike's still fighting. He certainly is. The main event is probably going to be around 10 o'clock, I would imagine. It all depends on how quick the fights go, because we've already had some stoppages, so it totally depends. Come on, Stephen. You don't want to be sitting on... Oh, they're exchanging blows here. We're in round 6, just over halfway. And this is where maybe the younger man in Stephen Ward might be the difference. Because I know he trains with Jamie Moore, who gets his fighters extremely well conditioned. We've seen what he done recently with Dave Allen against Johnny Fisher. Got him in tremendous shape. And I was going to say upset there, but it wasn't really an upset because Dave Allen, I know personally, is a great fighter. And I don't personally think Johnny Fisher should have been in there with him. It was too early, unnecessary, because he didn't have much of an amateur career. So to put him in there with what I would call a veteran in David Allen, and this is David Allen probably in the best form of his career, I would probably say, because now he's mentally focused, he's got the discipline, and he's paired up with a great trainer in Jamie Moore. Oh, I'm just watching the replay of Stephen Ward trapped on the ropes. He done well there, to be honest. I'm just watching the replay because he didn't really get hit clean. He done well, just took it up. Nice high guard. And he did pick a few counters as well. Oh, I'm just watching that left hook. He took that bang on the chin. Fair play to Stephen Ward there. He took that shot well. And I definitely think now that he's up at cruiserweight, he takes a shot a lot better because he was killing himself to be at light heavyweight. So I am kind of rooting for Stephen Ward because it was a long time ago I was in the gym with Mike Perez and there was a language barrier. I didn't really get to know him then. I was very young at the time. He was like the top guys in the gym. Whereas with Stephen Ward, I shared rounds with him. And this was only probably, I'm going to say maybe 8 years ago. But like I say, we spent a lot of rounds together. And just, you know, he was my teammate with Oliver Harrison's gym. So you build a relationship. So I am rooting for him. It'd be an amazing win. He beat Thomas McCarthy a while back. And again, it was one of his old teammates. That was a great win on his record in recent time after having the time out to get a good win because Thomas McCarthy was a great amateur. Good fighter. And if he pulls this off tonight, wow. This is a great name to have on your record. And just, I don't know where he would go from here. The opportunities would be there for him, so it would be an amazing achievement. Because he would probably admit himself, a year or two ago, he probably thought his career was over, wasn't getting opportunities. When he was at light heavyweight, he had a few losses, stoppage losses. So he's revamped himself. I think he's actually got a business. I think he had some time away from boxing to build a business because he wasn't probably earning money from boxing. Because a lot of people think you earn money in boxing, but you in the early stages you don't. If you're not a big ticket seller, you haven't got a big promoter, you don't always make much money. So he went away and built a business so he's got some money coming in, and then he's come back to boxing. This has turned into a real battle. The two of them standing in the middle of the ring, exchanging blows. I definitely don't think Mike Perez has got the same pop in his shots that he once did. Because he was a really dangerous puncher. Is that a cut over the eye of Stephen Ward? He doesn't need that. He's now got Mike Perez trapped on the ropes. He doesn't want to get greedy though because Mike Perez is very good defensively. The way he can slip and slide. Look, he looks for the counters. Yeah, I would like to see Stephen Ward use his jab a little bit more because he's probably playing into Mike Perez's hands by staying in the pocket. Because if anything, Mike Perez likes it up close and personal, whereas Stephen Ward's more of a boxer, generally speaking. I don't know if it's fatigue and he just wants to hold his feet, because that's what happens sometimes when you're tired. Your legs don't really want to play a ball. So he's decided to trade. Be interesting to see what Jamie Moore's saying in the corner, because I can't imagine he's saying stand in the pocket with Mike Perez and trade punches. What's the comment section saying here? Sam Parker, hi mate, very interested to see how this fight goes. Also want to let you know I'm having my first amateur bout in 2 months. Excellent mate. Well, I hope you put the road work in. Got to get them sprints in for the amateur boxing. Is it? Yeah, first amateur bout. Get the sparring in. Plenty of sparring, because there's nothing beats sparring for getting the running and the sprints. So get yourself to other gyms. Get yourself out of your comfort zone, and get them sparring sessions in. There's nothing that can compensate for that. Sickaboo Films got Fabio winning vicious tonight. I see Fabio Wardley knocked him out, to be fair, because I could be wrong. I've heard people saying that the sparring footage is old footage, and supposedly, I can't remember what was said, but he'd had a bang over the head at work or something, and he hadn't told his coach at the gym, and then he got clipped. Because when you've been concussed early on in the day, you can still carry that effect. And if you get clipped again, you're more likely to get knocked out, essentially. But yeah, either way, I think it's going to be a great fight. Fabio Wardley, he's in his hometown, in his stadium, Portman Road, Ipswich, with all his fans there. He's going to be a hard man to beat, because one thing about Fabio Wardley, what he lacks in skill, experience, he makes up for in heart, power. Just the way he approaches boxing, he just loves it. And you can't teach that. You're born with it. Whereas when I watched Justis Huni, great skill fighter, he's got the experience as an amateur, but I don't know if he's got that real dog in him that like Fabio Wardley's got. And I think he does lack a little bit of power. And I think it's down to his amateur pedigree. He still boxes up on his toes, doesn't really set his feet to dig them in. And at heavyweight, you've got to do that. You've got to really stamp your authority. You know, otherwise, boxing at heavyweight's a long night if you can't really, you know, dishearten your opponent. I've got to say this fight is not what I expected. I thought this was going to be a case of Stephen Ward up on his toes boxing. You know, Mike Perez just walking forward, dominating, counter-punching. Yeah. Totally different. Definitely not the Mike Perez he once was, but I don't want to take that away from him because he's standing here really putting a good fight on still. I think that was round the back of the head. That totally knocks your equilibrium. I think it was behind the ear. Technically a bit of a illegal punch, but it's boxing, it happens. If you dip forward, it happens. It's not really anyone's fault. Let's see how Steve... Oh, that was over the top of the head. He needs to bide his time, get on his toes, move, let his head clear. Oh, them shots over the top of the head. Oh, an uppercut. He needs to get off those ropes. Hold on. This is the problem. I've seen it before. His ability to survive. Oh. I said this was always going to be a hard task. Wow. Oh, was that Saved by the Bell? Saved by the Bell. He needed that. That bell couldn't have come any sooner. Come on, Stephen. Hopefully, he's got a minute now for his head to clear. But sometimes them shots high in the top of the head, or, you know, round the back of your head, your brain essentially shoots to the front of your head, scrambles your senses. Let me see this in the replay, this slow motion. Oh, it was a left hook. I missed that. That was actually bang on the chin. And then I think there might have been a shot on the way down. Let me just see that again. Yeah, it was a left hook bang on the chin. And then a left uppercut as well. Yeah, no. It wasn't round the back of the head. The shots that done the damage were bang on the chin. And it was really high on the top of the jaw here. And them shots, you know, they do the damage. To be honest, if you land clean anywhere on the head, it can do damage. Put it that way. Let's face it, us human beings aren't meant to get punched in the head. It's as simple as that. And I think Stephen Ward is still really hurt. I don't think he hasn't recovered. He needs to try to just do what he can to let some of that time in this round. Box and move, hold on, that's it. Get him in a headlock, keep him there for as long as possible. Let the referee break you. Oh. He's down again. Come on, Stephen. Let's see what you've got. It's these type of situations. Oh, they've thrown the towel in. They've seen enough his corner. Well, I tell you what. Fair play to Stephen Ward. He gave it a good go because this was always a big task. And he's got some real balls to take this fight because, like I say, Mike Perez, he might be at the latter stage of his career, but he's a world-class operator and puncher. And unfortunately, he's fell short here tonight, but he can hold his head up high. I'm not too sure where Stephen Ward goes from here at this stage in his career. to be beaten by a Mike Perez past his best, like nonetheless, still a great fighter. I'm just not sure. And it'll be also interesting to see where Mike Perez goes from here because, you know, someone like a Jay Opataya, he's not at that level anymore. Once upon a time, you would have given him a great fight. But from what I've just witnessed now, I think Jay Opataya would box his lugs off, basically. He hasn't got the speed, the reflexes he once did. He's got the experience, so, you know, he knows his way around the ring. He can still compete to a level, but at world level, I don't think so. I mean, maybe if there's a vacant belt and he gets the right opponent, maybe. Michael Thompson, Huni could be a dark horse. You know, I think it's interesting because in my prediction video, if you've watched it, I've picked Fabio Wardley, but Justis Huni is a talented amateur. You can see in his fights, he's got a great boxing IQ and ability. The problem he's got, at times, he switches off and maybe gets a little bit greedy. Maybe he just likes a fight and he stands in the pocket for a little bit too long with a leaky defence and he gets caught. It's happened a few times. When he fought Kevin Lerena, it happened. He was sitting, he had Kevin Lerena on the ropes and he was in this position, kind of like a Floyd Mayweather style. And yeah, he just got caught with the overhand left, bang on the chin, because he was neglecting his defence. You've got to stay focused. And Kevin Lerena can really punch. And so can Fabio Wardley. So I don't want to call him a dark horse because you could argue that I've said in my prediction video that I would say that Kevin Lerena is a better fight than any of Fabio Wardley's, but I would say that Fabio Wardley's fought more better opponents on average, if you know what I'm saying. But the thing with professional boxing and amateur boxing is the purest form of boxing. Hit and don't be hit. But in professional boxing, you've got 12 rounds, so skill isn't enough. You've got to have that heart, that engine, the stamina. You've got to have a great chin because you can't hide in a 12-round fight. So you need different ingredients in professional boxing. Dan Drake, how are you doing, Lawrence? Is this the first? No. There's been a few other fights already tonight. First successful round of the stream. New internet? Yeah, I have actually changed my internet. I hope it's running smoothly. Because basically my internet's upstairs. So I had to get a disc so I could connect the Ethernet cable. So the connection should be better. Fingers crossed, because I have had a few issues. I seen that earlier on. What's he? Heisa, I think I'm not sure how it's pronounced. He called out Moses. What's my thought on that? Well, I think at this point in time, these fighters who haven't got a big following, they need to shout out these guys with a big name. And Moses Atama, if I was the likes of that guy, more experienced, a bit later on in my career, I'd be calling out these young. I don't want to call him inexperienced, but he is really. He's been boxing a long time as an amateur, you know, but not that long as a professional. I would want to catch him when he's young because in 2-3 years' time, you know, every year he's going to get better and better. So I don't blame him, but I don't think Moses Atama will be interested in that fight. There's bigger names out there because it's one of those where it's a high risk, low reward. So we'll see. There's my guy, literally guy. What's up, gang? Moses versus Dillian Whyte. Yes, I'm here. I've seen that. I've actually where have I got it? I think it was Ring Magazine announced it earlier this evening. I think I've got it somewhere. Yeah. Breaking from the Ring Magazine. I can't believe it. Dillian Whyte versus Moses Atama. I think it's a great fight because Dillian Whyte at this stage in his career, I'm personally a fan of Dillian Whyte, but at this stage in his career, he's had so many. I mean, this is the second time he's been done for a drugs ban? And I don't care what the excuse is. At this level, it shouldn't happen. He knows how to make sure to be a clean athlete. So I know he was cleared of it, but it's a bit suspect. But I think it's a great fight for Moses Atama because he's in his prime. He's a great mover. Whereas Dillian Whyte, he's been inactive and he's also got slow feet. I think it's a perfect fight for Moses Atama. So, yeah, that's a really interesting one. But a great one. But I think it's an easy win for Moses Atama, to be honest. I think Dillian Whyte's had his day. I'm sorry to say because I am a fan of Dillian Whyte. He brings the entertainment. He can trash talk. He's all business. The only time I've really seen him underperform is when he fought Tyson Fury. And I think he just knew that Tyson Fury had his number because I think they'd had loads of rounds sparring together. But regardless, it was a disappointing performance. And he was like a sitting duck, to be honest. And Tyson Fury just destroyed him. But yeah. Guys saying the crowd looked like a queue at the water ride at the theme park. Yeah, they could have done with better weather. He was not able to defend himself, so can't blame his corner. No, well, and one thing I do know with Jamie Moore, he was a great world-class fighter himself. I think he won a European title. I can't remember why he retired, but I always remember his coach, who I was trained by, Oliver Harrison, saying he was a great fighter, very intelligent. So it was a shame he never made it to world level. But as a trainer, he's passing on that experience. And yeah, he done the right thing. He knows his man. A good cornerman knows his fighter, so they're there to protect them. This game's far too dangerous to take unnecessary punishment. Max Fawcett, how we doing, mate? Good to see you live again, mate. Sorry if you've already answered this, but what do you think of Atama Whyte fight almost agreed for the August 16th? I don't know if you've just heard because I've just answered that, but yeah, I think it's a great fight, especially for Moses Atama because Dillian Whyte's past his best at this stage, had far too much time out. And I think stylistically, I think it's a great matchup because Moses Atama's great counter-puncher, great mover, he can bang, and Dillian Whyte's got slow feet. He's great against the likes of Derek Chisora and people like that, but at this stage in his career, he's a sitting duck for Moses Atama. Dan Drake, what improvements am I looking to see from Fabio Wardley? Well, like I say, he's very inexperienced. In every fight, he's making improvements. So, to be honest, I think he needs to make improvements all round. It's just a gradual process. But, you know, I would like to see him jab more. The thing is, people think he's just a brawler, but he can actually box. And he's got a great cornerman in Ben Davison, great strategic coach. And the fact that he's had, I think, is it 17 knockouts out of 18? You don't get that just being a power puncher because you've got to be able to set your punches up. And he does that. So I don't want to say he's a limited fighter, just a brawler, because a lot of people, I've seen this in the comment section of some of my videos. He can definitely box and he's very agile up on his toes. As a big guy, he can move. And I think he's got quite good reflexes as well. He's still, like I say, he's limited, don't get me wrong, and I don't know how he'll do at the next level, but at this sort of level, you know, he's a real competitor. But I think the biggest thing in this fight, he just needs to really stay switched on and be focused, because there was time against Fraser Clark in the first fight. It was almost just like he lost concentration. But all these things is because he's been knocking everyone out. So when the fight goes over the distance, it's new to him where, you know, I think in this fight, I think it'll play into Justis Huni's hands if it goes the longer distance, because I think he's done 10 rounds several times. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. But I know that gym as well, Ben Davison, that gym's got so many great fighters. He's got AJ in there. He's got the McCormack brothers from Newcastle, so I thought I'd give them a shout out. There's so many great fighters in that gym. So it's, you know, talented fighters. What's the saying? Knives, you know, iron sharpens iron. So, you know, just being in that gym with great fighters, you're going to improve all the time. I hope I've answered the question clearly. I rambled a bit there. Sam Parker saying, why wouldn't they go with Jermaine Franklin? Are you talking about for Moses Atama or Dillian Whyte? Yeah, guys saying Dillian Whyte going into the fight with Moses after a long layoff is a huge mistake. Well, going off his last fight against a Teti, he looked terrible. He looked slow, sloppy. His defense wasn't great. His accuracy, everything was terrible. He got the win in the stoppage because of Teti. What level is he? He's not even, if you want to say in terms of British level, he's probably not even English level. So it was a terrible performance considering Dillian Whyte's been up there at world level. Yes, he's fell short, but he was still a great fighter. Pulov 33. I feel Moses would be way too much for Whyte at this stage of his career. I totally agree. Stick Boy Films. Bakoli would be better matchup for Moses right now, in my opinion. I disagree. I just think at this stage in his career, I think it's just too early. Sorry, my seat needs adjusting. At this stage in his career, this is the thing. Moses Atama, he wanted to move quickly because he wanted to beat Mike Tyson's record. And there's no need to do that now because he's missed the boat. He's missed that record. I don't understand why he wants to move so quickly. I'm hoping that his team now slow things down a little bit because Martin Bakoli, make no mistake, he's a world-class operator. I know he didn't look great against Joseph Parker, but it was a short notice job. And it was bad on his behalf because he's been calling everybody out, saying that he was knocking everyone out in sparring, screaming out for opportunities, and when it came, he wasn't ready, he wasn't fit, so that was on him. But now with a bit of time in a training camp, and I think he would have learned from that mistake. I think it's a bad mistake. Look what he done to Jared Anderson. He put a young talented man in with him, and he got destroyed. That can end a fighter's career, taking a beating like that. So I just don't see the need with Moses Atama. I think they should take it a little bit slower. In the thing with Bakoli, if he is fit, because the sparring stories, despite the fact that he was shouting from the rooftops, nobody was really denying it. So there must have been some truth in it. So yeah, I think it's not a great opponent for him. Don't get me wrong, there's a chance he could win. I just don't see the point in taking the risk. Why not wait another, 6 months to a year at least? Let him develop, let him mature. Because physically, he's nowhere near his prime. I wouldn't say heavyweights mature fully physically until probably like 27, 28. You could say though in the prime, in the peak, at about 30. And when I say that physically, I think the way boxing is now, it's all about 50-50 fights. But like I say, you can do that at people at more your age and maturity. You don't need to jump to world level when you're only the 20 years of age. To me, it's madness. What do I know? But that's my opinion on it. I just don't like to see talented fighters being rushed and things all go wrong and then the career can be potentially be finished. Because when you get knocked out badly, like Jared Anderson, mentally it can have a massive effect. Some people bounce back and are okay, but other people never really fully recover. Guys just saying, is that fight with Moses meant to be in Saudi? I've heard rumours it might be, but I'm not sure. Matty Wiz, Miller is the slowest custard. I might have missed some of these. The truth. Why did Dillian Whyte pull out of the... He pulled out of this fight basically for this fight in August. That's been rumoured. It's been announced. against Moses Atoma. Yo, man, I don't get this fuss about Huni's chin. If you take Lorena fight, that literally wouldn't... Sorry. If you take the Lorena fight, that literally wouldn't Dubois' chin be insane joke. I think what you're getting at is, you know, he hurt Daniel Dubois, and Daniel Dubois got a good chin. So yeah, to be honest, there's no shame in that knockout, like that, getting hurt. Because like I say, Daniel Dubois got a good chin. But the simple fact is, I've heard quite a few times where he's supposedly been hurt in the gym and sparring. This is just rumours. I wasn't there, but, you know, I hear things in the boxing game. And then also, he was hurt in that fight against Lorena, which is fair play. We're seeing the sparring footage that was released. So, like I say, I just think it's a little bit potentially suspect. Maybe I'm wrong, but the fact is, his defence isn't the best at times. He switches off, and Fabio Wardley can bang. In that time when he got hurt off Lorena, if that had been Fabio Wardley, he would have finished him because he's a great finisher. This is Lewis Richard, a great former GB member, an Olympian, making his debut. What a time to make your debut in a big stadium like this. Amazing time to make your debut. And you know, your debut in boxing is it's like a world title fight. It's massive. It's all the pressure's on, especially when you've been an Olympian and everyone's watching to see how you're going to be as a professional. The eyes are on you, so the pressure, it's massive. So yeah, so it'll be interesting to see. I mean, you know, at this level, you're talking, he'll be in with a journeyman, but nonetheless, it's still massive. The pressure's on because even against these journeymen, I think people forget these journeymen are hard as nails. They're tough because yes, they haven't got the technical ability, but you can't be a journeyman if you can't take a shot and you don't know how to defend yourself and get through the rounds because you're in there with the prospects who really know what they're doing, the real talent. So yeah, these guys are tough. And the whole point is, against these journeymen like here for Lewis, it's about looking good in the process. So if he looks terrible, it's not great. He wants to put on a great performance. Ideally, get him out of there. Get everyone hyped because I've said this before in boxing. You can be as technical as you want, but if you can't draw the fans and be a big ticket seller, you know, you've either got to have a big personality where people love to see you or entertaining in the ring in terms of showboating or, you know, just be exciting to watch. Or if not, you've got to have power because everybody wants to see knockouts. Even if you're a little bit vulnerable and you get put down and get back up, people love it. People want to see like the Rocky film, you know, where he goes down, he gets back up, he puts his opponent down. It's just the way boxing is, and that's the way fans generally want to see it. Blood and guts. I'm just trying to get through some of these comments. Sam Parker. Miller gave Dubois his hardest fight since Usyk. And that was early notice. Yeah, Miller's, like I say, Miller's like, he's built like a van. He's just, you know, he's solid, he's strong. And for such a big guy, he's got one hell of an engine. And he can obviously bang because anyone that big can punch. So yeah, he's a real tough opponent for anybody. But I think Daniel Dubois, every fight he's since then, mentally, he's got more and more confident. And we're seeing what he done against Anthony Joshua. And every win that he gets, his confidence is just going through the roof. Guy, Miller not light is not a great move and walks you down. Andy Ruiz just wait until a 10-second clap and put a flurry on for the judges in his opinion. Yeah, to be honest, I was really disappointed with Andy Ruiz because, in my opinion, he's a great fighter. Despite he's physically not looking great aesthetically, he can really fight. And anyone who knew him as an amateur, he was a good fighter. But yeah, it was a disappointing performance. He won the world title against Anthony Joshua, and it was like he'd made it. He basically started eating again, got fat, and we haven't really seen him look as good since, to be honest. Let's see how this Lewis Richardson's going to look, because great amateur. He's kind of... He's not really digging the shots in here. Obviously, he was an amateur for a long time, so he's got an amateur style. It takes time to transition into the pros. Learn how to set your feet, dig the shots in, because you can be light on your feet, but when you let your hands go, you've got to plant them feet a little bit and dig them in, really turn the shots through, drive your elbow through the target. Yeah, because the guys in the professional ranks are tough. Yeah, his range is a little bit off. He's a little bit too far away. Yeah, he's tippy-tappy, and I want to see him tippy-tap and then, change the level and sink a few in. Because these journeymen often hold their hands up here to defend their head. So you've got to basically prise that defense open. Go high, then come low. Or come low, then come high. Move the guard, swipe the hands away and throw the shots. If you've seen the likes of Alexander Usyk and Lemchenko, they were masters at, pulling the hands down and throwing them shots around the corner. Yeah, you can see that Lewis wants to throw the combination and step back. That's that amateur style, picking the points up. But this is welcome to the pro ranks. He's really going to have to learn to sink the shots in. Different ball game, this pro game. And this is what happens. A lot of top amateurs turn professional and realise the game is completely different. There's no guarantee if you're a world-class amateur, you're going to be a good world-class professional, because it really is a different game. Yeah, he needs to, yeah, I'm not really liking what I'm seeing. I'm going to be honest, put it out there. I'm not too sure if he's got this professional style. He's young, he's got time on his hands, but there's a lot of work from what I can see to adapt his style to the professional. You get guys who turn professional and they were just made for the pro game. But you can see here with Lewis, unfortunately, his style needs a lot of adjustments. Pool of 33 saying, have you seen much of Richard Torres Jr.? And if so, what's my thoughts on him? I have seen a little bit, but to be honest, I haven't watched loads of him. If it's the guy I'm thinking of, he's a real tough guy. I don't think he's a massive heavyweight. He can punch. Let me just double check if I'm talking about the right guy. I'm just making sure, in case I'm talking about a completely different guy. Yes, it is the guy I was thinking. I'm just looking there. I'm going to quickly look on BoxRec and just look at his stats, because I'm pretty sure he's quite short. Yeah, he's 6'2" for a heavyweight, which isn't, big. It's not small, but yeah, he can punch a little bit. He looks quite explosive. Who was his last fight? Yeah, he's definitely one to watch. He's got, like I say, a bit of a, not a Tyson style, but with them guys who come in low with a high guard. I'll have to have a good look at him and check some of his fights out. Russell, look what happened to Price. He got fast-tracked as a future champion. No, I've just lost it there. Where's it gone? As a future champion, and his career just fizzled out. Again, he was a world-class amateur, but unfortunately, I don't like to say it, but he didn't have a great chin. And at heavyweight, you need a decent chin because everyone can punch at that weight. But in terms of punching power and size, he was a freak of nature. It's just a shame, because if you had a better chin, he could have been a real world beater, because I know people who sparred him and said his power was just ridiculous. He flattened all sorts of people in sparring. But yeah, that's different with the big gloves on and the head guard. Especially with the head guard, you've got the protection. And in the pro game with them small gloves and no head guard, it's dangerous. Yeah, everyone, make sure to drop a like and make sure to subscribe as well. It helps the channel. I always forget to ask, but you've got to ask. Hopefully you enjoy what I do here on my channel, so it goes a long way. And anyone who would also like to donate to the channel, again, is always massively appreciated. Yeah, this fight's certainly not. I don't think this performance is going to get too many people talking about him. I don't want to put him down, but went to the second round now, and he's putting us to sleep, to be honest. I hate to be downplay someone's performance, but I'm not exactly enjoying this one. Thank you, Guy, for always joining the streams and trying to get people to support there. Appreciate it. Kingdom Life is saying, I think Miller's banned again. I'm not too sure. I mean, he could be. God only knows what goes in that mouth. I mean, he clearly likes his food, and God only knows what ends up in that mouth while he's putting the food away. Anything could slip in. Yeah, that's a good one. Pulev saying, although Franklin doesn't have the profile Whyte does, he would give Atama the rounds. Definitely, I think Franklin's a really good fighter. We've seen him against... He fought Dillian Whyte, didn't he? Was it Dillian Whyte he fought? He fought Dillian Whyte, and I think he fought Anthony Joshua as well. And he gave Anthony Joshua a hard fight. Very good boxer, underrated. Again, the boxing skills are there, but in boxing you need that X factor to get people excited, to get the opportunities. If you haven't got that, it doesn't really build your profile. And it's probably the biggest thing that I've learned since getting into YouTube, for anybody watching who's young and maybe, in the boxing game. And to be honest, in any business, it's all about building your brand, being vocal. You've got to find a way to get people on board. And all the young amateurs, thinking about turning professional, if there's any watching, you've got to really market yourself, get yourself out there, get on social media, create your brand. Because if you don't, if you turn professional, you won't get opportunities. If you can't sell tickets, put bums on seats, unfortunately you won't go anywhere. I know that myself, because I wasn't really the type of guy that done the trash talking, was vocal, put everything out there on social media. And I now understand that I should have. But you learn, life, hindsight's a wonderful thing. But yeah, getting involved with YouTube and studying the game, because I've watched all the influencer boxers, and all the purists don't like the influencer boxers, but what they've done is they've created a brand, and then they can sell themselves on it because they're getting opportunities, not because what they've done in boxing. And I'm talking about the likes of Misfits. They're getting opportunities because they've created a brand, they've got an audience, and that's what you've got to do in boxing. Create an audience so you can sell tickets, sell out arenas. That's the aim of the game. Otherwise, you're always going to come in as the away fighter, and it'll be at the drop of a hat, a late notice job, you'll get a phone call. So it's just what you've got to do in boxing. If you've been a top amateur, like Lewis Richardson here, he's already got that profile because of the Olympics. But that's one thing. He now needs to back it up as a professional. In let them promoters realise that they've signed a good fighter and worth signing, because otherwise, trust me, the promoters will stop, just push them out. So yeah, it's a tough old game, this boxing game. I know that much. The truth hurts. Hit the damn like. I love that one. Yeah, hit the like, please, guys. Guy saying Miller is bankrupt. I'm not too sure, but what's people saying here? Let me know your predictions for the Fabio Wardley versus Justis Huni. Let me know who you think is going to win on points or decision. I say a knockout for Fabio Wardley. I think it'll be within 6 to 8 rounds. Yeah, I think, what was the other, there was something else I was going to mention as well. I seen that Ben Shalom, his contract's ended with Sky Sports, and they've put a post out saying that they'll not be renewing his contract. So I'm not too sure where Ben Shalom's going to go with Boxer. Really interesting. The fact that Sky Sports have announced it before him, because I think it was yesterday, or might have been the day before, I seen an interview with Ben Shalom saying he doesn't want to kind of mention what's going to happen next. He was being quite respectful of Sky, and then they've basically just put it out there. So yeah, is he going to go with DAZN? I'm not too sure, because where else does he go? Which other platform is he going to go on? You would think DAZN, because he is doing some good stuff in the game. But yeah, it's an interesting one. I mean, Ben Shalom, I feel like he's like one of them guys who's been bullied in a classroom at school. Basically, Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren, they didn't really want him in there. I think he's more friends now with Eddie Hearn, but Frank Warren hates him, absolutely despises him. And it's bullying, really, because it's not nice, really, because Frank Warren, he's been around for so long. I don't know why he's so threatened by Ben Shalom. It's crazy. But yeah, he basically bullies him. Put it that way, if Frank Warren's got anything to do with him getting a deal with DAZN, it won't be happening. What round we're in? Round 4. Round 4. I can't wait for this fight to be over. I mean, I don't know what the atmosphere is like in the stadium watching this, but I feel like going making a coffee. I feel that tired watching it. Jesus. This is your debut on a massive bill. Come on. I know it's a big shock to the system, having your debut in a massive stadium. Because another thing that people don't realise, when you're a world-class amateur, sometimes you're fighting in small stadiums. Yes, you fought in the Olympics, which is a massive event. But a lot of the time, it's in small hall shows. And you don't get, when I say small hall, they're in arenas all over the world where you don't get a massive following. Sorry, like a massive fan. Massive fans in the audience. It's just the way amateur boxing is. It's only really the Commonwealth Games, maybe the World Championships, the Europeans. And I don't know how many times he went to this particular tournament, but probably not that many. So he's probably not fully accustomed to this big arena. But yeah, he needs to really give the fans some excitement. I'm probably being harsh on him here, but you've got to entertain the fans. You've got to remember, people are paying the hard work, earned money. You know, boxing now, buying tickets is expensive. It's not like, people are in a time where money is hard. You know, everything's rising, the prices are rising. People aren't getting paid anymore. So if they're using their hard-earned money to come and watch you, you've got to entertain them. Robin Block dropping in to say, I really enjoy your commentary and insight. Top channel. Thank you, mate. That's what this channel's all about. It's just about giving you my experience in my knowledge, because I've got information which, unless you've been a boxer or you've been around the gyms with all these different fighters, you just don't get it. And that's no disrespect. I don't say it in a negative way, but I want to give you the insight, that stuff that you don't get to hear and see. Because you can study the game, but there's certain aspects, if you weren't there, you just don't know. And like being in a boxing ring, because even if you've been, you know, you're sparred in a gym, it's completely different when you've got your fans there in a big stadium. And sometimes there's just little details that you can't spot from the outside unless you've been there. I want people to come to my channel and learn something. Because there's lots of channels who give commentary, but I like to think that I can give a slightly different insight into the game. Is it Sovereign Saint? Have you played your guitar on the stream? I haven't. See this guitar in the background, if you can see it. That's my acoustic guitar. I predominantly play electric guitar. Can't speak. Electric guitar. But yeah, unfortunately, I don't get time to play very often. I don't think that guitar on the back is even well tuned. It's become more of an ornament. But I do love guitar, if anyone's interested. It's probably my, outside of training, it's probably my biggest hobby. Absolutely love it. I love the blues music. I'm a massive Jimi Hendrix fan. In the likes of Stevie Ray Vaughan. You know, who else? I love Albert King, B.B. King, all these type of guys. Freddie King, if you know them, if there's any guys who like the blues, that's who I like. Maybe one day I'll get it out and play it on the stream. Or just tune that one. Pulev, I think Fabio will catch Huni, but they may be down to the scorecards at the time of the knockout. I think, put it that way, if Fabio Wardley lands, he's going to hurt him. Like, I know that for a fact. He's got dangerous power. We're seeing what he done to Fraser Clark. He caved his face in. I mean, literally caved his face in. Unbelievable. And not just that, when Fabio Wardley has you hurt, he's a great finisher. Because you get guys who can really punch, but they're not the best of finishers. If you want to look at Kevin Lorena versus Justis Huni, he had Huni hurt, but he couldn't get him out there. He couldn't get the job finished. So it's a real skill to be a good finisher. There's my sister in the comment section, always speaking facts. My sister knows. But I'm also a bit of a... She's probably thinking, you're also a little bit of a know-it-all. Maybe I am, but just my personality, I can't help it. Hannah saying, my sister saying, play the guitar. Mustafa, yo, do your live watch-alongs now. Let's go. About damn time. Are you wanting more commentary from us? I'm answering too many questions, is what Mustafa's saying. Sam Park, a guy you could watch every boxing match, and if the promotions were on the same platform. Yeah, it would be great. If Ben Shalom is on DAZN, it would be perfect. Because it makes it a lot cheaper for all the fans. Because then you would have them all on DAZN, it would be perfect. I know there's the American ones as well. But if you know, a lot of the biggest fights are on with Queensbury and Matchroom, and then hopefully Boxer. Because to be honest, in America, the promoters, the fighters, American boxing isn't what it used to be. Because once upon a time, the likes of the Floyd Mayweather's era, and then further back, the Mike Tyson era, all them type of guys, it's just not what it once was. American boxing, I think they've went into different sports. And to be honest, America's, you know, their sports scholarships and stuff, there's so many. I mean, if you can do other sports, then get punched in the head, I don't blame people. In boxing, it's so difficult because it's hard to make money. I think people think if you're a professional boxer, you're rich, you make lots of money. But trust me, that's not the case. So if you can make more money in different sports, I don't blame people. But at the same time, boxing, there's nothing like it. And if you start boxing, it's so addictive. And even for the fans, this is why people love it. Because there's nothing like the old punching people in the face. It's as simple as that. DJ Decky, has the card been good so far? I haven't really been watching. Yeah, it's been a decent card. This fight isn't been the most exciting. Sorry, Lewis Richardson, but the last fight, Stephen Ward versus Mike Perez, was a good fight. Unfortunately, Stephen Ward got stopped. Someone who I was teammates with. When I first turned professional, I was at a gym in Manchester, Oliver Harrison's gym, and we trained together there. Good fighter, great amateur. Both guys were at the latter stages of the career. But unfortunately, Stephen Ward just couldn't get past Mike Perez because he can really punch. I missed the very early cards because I think there was some fights that even started at 4:30. I missed them ones. He's definitely settling into the fight here, Lewis, a little bit more. He's starting to plant his feet a little bit more. He's slowed things down a little bit. He's just threw, I've never seen that. I think he threw like a quadruple backhand, lead backhand. You normally do that when you fire the lead backhand and then you come back with the left hook. It just helps you get that rotation. But this is the thing at times, he's tippy-tapping a little bit for my liking. I want to see him sink them in. You can see him here. Great footwork, judgment of distance, but that's great as a defensive point of view. But you don't win points by defending. You've got to be able to make them miss and make them pay. And in the pro game, do it viciously. Max Fawcett, do you have a podcast? Can imagine with your boxing connections, you could do some great episodes. I've done a couple on my stream, but not enough, to be honest. I mainly do boxing breakdowns, reaction videos. That's predominantly what I tend to do. And recently I've started doing these live streams. I'm still just new to the live streams. So I'm just trying to navigate my way to see what people like. Because there's so many guys out there doing just predominantly commentary. But I try to answer people's questions just to give people insights, pass my knowledge on. And hopefully people are enjoying what I'm doing. So make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Hit the bell notification as well so you don't miss a video. You can see that Lewis is clearly talented. He's Olympian. So, you know, I don't know how old he is. I think he is quite young. So he's got time to really adapt into the style because he's got all the moves, all the punches. His defense is good. It's just a case of slowing things down a little bit, learn to really rotate into his shots. And it's just slowing the feet down just a little bit. Well, I say a little bit, quite a bit to be honest. Well, the pressure's on, and it's probably part of it is the nerves. Because I think when you have your debut, unless you knock your opponent out, you always wish you could have done this and done that. It's just the way it goes. Because you want your debut to be, you know, the best ever. You want to really get people excited. And I can tell by his face, his reaction, I don't think he's massively happy about his performance. Not that he boxed bad, I just think he knows he could do better. I think he definitely didn't do what he wanted to do because I don't think there's anybody on the debut doesn't want to stop their opponent. Yeah. Barracuda saying this guy needs to go away and work on his pro style. This ain't the Nationals. You're right. It's harsh, and I'm being harsh, but this isn't the game. It's pro boxing, 12 rounds of boxing. Like, you've got to learn to adapt because as he steps up, he'll realise that the guys really sink the shots in and it hurts. Small gloves, because even in the amateur game, you wear 10-ounce gloves, and they've changed amateur boxing to no head guards, but even the gloves are a little bit more padded than the pro ones. And just stylistically, because it's 3 rounds, the pace is faster. Naturally, when you turn pro, because of the longer rounds, you slow things down because you've got to preserve your energy. So naturally, because your feet are more planted, you start to dig them in more. And also, you could argue that it's contradictory because it's a longer distance. If you can get your opponent out quickly, you don't have to do the 12 rounds because, as the saying goes, you don't get paid for overtime. The game's too tough to do 12 rounders if you can do one. Guy, I'm still in distress over Lemonchenko retirement. I know. Well, my mate Sam Maxwell, someone I was on GB with, he boxed him, I think, twice in WSB. That was 5 rounds. And he said it was just unbelievable. Being in there, you know, up close and personal. Don't get me wrong, Sam Maxwell was a great fighter and it was a competitive fight, but he knew he was in there with a world-class fighter. And we're seeing what he'd done as a professional. great fighter. And I think, unfortunately, he had a long amateur career. And by the time he turned pro, I don't think when he first turned pro, but, a few years into his career, he was probably past his best. And again, sometimes these Eastern European guys, they aren't the most marketable. And I don't think Lemchenko was the biggest of puncher. Don't get me wrong, he had stoppages on his record. I can't actually remember what his record was exactly. But he was more technical than, these knockout punchers. Because when you compare him to his amateur teammate, Alexander Usyk, I would say Lemchenko was just as good. You can argue better to an extent, because generally speaking, the heavyweight division hasn't got the same skill level as the lighter weights. It's got the power. So I know it's an unfair argument, because if you're heavyweight, there's other challenges like the power, like I say. But Lemchenko was so technical, unbelievable. He was literally like the Matrix. If you haven't watched Lemchenko, go and watch him. Go and watch his videos, because especially if there's amateur boxers watching, you can learn so much from him. Sam Parker. I saw someone online make a great point about how having a great amateur career can actually be a bit of a curse going into the pro ranks. I wouldn't say having an amateur career can be a curse, because some of the best people in the world, best amateur professional boxers ever, were great amateurs. I think it's more down to your style, because amateur or professional, everyone's got a style. So if you're one of those guys who isn't a puncher, you're up on your toes flicking your shots, great amateur, but that will never translate over to the pros. But if you're an amateur boxer who can bang as well, can set your feet and dig them in, that'll definitely translate into the professional ranks. I think it's down to power. It's down to this your power as an amateur. Oh, thank you so much, Cyborg, giving me a super chat there. Much respect. He always turns up to the live streams and supports the channel. Massively appreciated. It really helps this channel, because you got to remember, I'm doing this in my time, giving you my knowledge and experience. So the more people help out with the channel, the more I'll turn up and be here for these streams. We're all trying to make a living out here, you know what I'm saying? Guy, to cancel the undisputed fight with Kambosos to return to the Ukraine when Russia invades was a huge decision. Absolutely. You've got to give massive credit. They were fighting a war. And he, can you imagine being one of the most probably famous, well-known people in your country in sports and leaving to go to war? Like, you've got to give massive respect for that, because he didn't need to. But being that big guy, that big name, he wanted to show, doesn't matter what level you're on, our country's in trouble and I'm going to go and protect my country. So, amazing. Good morning from Melbourne, Cyborg Boxing Australia. Respect, mate. Guy, to cancel... Yeah, sorry, I've already read that one. The Conscious, evening brother, happy Saturday. Huni is in big trouble. No power to keep Wardley honest, and Wardley throws nasty, often unorthodox shots. Yeah, you're totally right. I think with Fabio Wardley, the way he throws his punches is exactly what you're saying. They're so unorthodox, because when you fight a traditional textbook boxer, you know where the jab, the right hand and the left hook comes from. It's very technical and textbook. But when you fight a guy who hasn't had much amateur experience and the punches come from mad angles, it's really difficult to deal with. It's hard to anticipate. And that's why if you look at the likes of, Prince Nazim back in the day, he didn't throw traditional punches. So it was really hard to deal with, because when you're sparring, how do you replicate a guy like Prince Nazim or Fabio Wardley? It's hard to get people to imitate what they do. So that's why it's so difficult. You get this in football. If you're a Ronaldo or a Messi, all these different footballers, and you pull out tricks that you don't see every day in training, how do you prepare for it? It's really difficult. I'd probably give a bad example of footballers there, because I'm not a massive football fan, but you get my point. There's certain styles which are really hard to prepare for. Okay, what's up? Where we're up to? We're getting near. Can't wait for this main event. I want to see more predictions. I want rounds if it's knockout. Has everyone enjoyed this card? How do you think the fights have been? What's been the best fight on the undercard so far? Well said, Nazim, a great example, yeah. Prince Naz, it's the same with the likes of, who else? People, the likes of Roy Jones. He threw like 4 left hooks. It was unbelievable. He would lead with backhands, things like that. Is so hard to prepare for, because what you've got to remember in boxing, or probably any sport, in the gym, you practice certain things on repeat. It's the same when you're sparring. If you've got a guy who traditionally throws a double jab backhand, which is a pretty common punch in boxing, naturally you get used to that punch coming. Where if you do something opposite, like a reverse 1-2, where you start with a right hand, then a jab, and I'm talking if you're an unorthodox fighter with your lead hand in front, you're just not prepared for it. So if someone's thrown a double jab or a 1-2, then all of a sudden they do a reverse 1-2, it catches you off guard. Or Pulev, a super chat there. Thank you so much, mate. Massively appreciated. Keep up the great work, he says on the channel, Lawrence. In your way to becoming the undisputed pound for pound best YouTube in the world. Thank you, mate. Respect. Well, I do put a lot of work in. I think people don't realise how hard this YouTube game is. It's extremely difficult. Because you've got to be up to date on the boxing. You know, try to know, you've got to be like news almost. You've got to be really up to date. And then all the editing, all my videos and stuff, I do all the editing myself. It's been a real learning curve. Coming from a boxer, coming into YouTube, it's completely different. And like I said earlier in the stream, I was an old school style boxer where you let your fists do the talking. You don't promote yourself. You don't talk too much. So when I come into YouTube, I had to be the complete opposite what I've done in my whole professional boxing career, in amateur career. So I had to almost learn a new type of personality. It's almost like I think, you know, talking on camera is a completely different type of skill. It's way harder than people realize. Sean Oxborough, it's bad, awesome. Ipswich relegated, pissing down, late replacement. Fingers crossed, Fab can catch him early. Yeah, I mean the weather, Jesus, this weather's been terrible. Because you want good weather. It's an open roof stadium, and everyone's sitting there like they're in a festival in that their plastic waterproofs. I mean, to be fair, it just adds to it. It gives it a bit more of a different vibe. People look happy enough. I mean, it's in a stadium. I don't know if it's sold out, but it looks pretty decent in there. But yeah, I don't follow football, but you're saying that they've been relegated. Shit. It's no good. I'm from Newcastle, if anyone doesn't know, if you can't tell by the accent. But yeah, I'm not a massive football supporter these days. I do watch it occasionally, and I used to play football back in the day myself. I do like playing football. To be honest, I like playing all sports, but I just don't really follow boxing quite as much these days. This Dillian's had a great career of late. He's had some really good wins on his record. Really tough, hard as nails little fighter. He fought my mate, Kez Asfact. Shout out to he was my old roommate when I first got on GB, and we've been friends all the way through. I haven't actually spoke to him for a while, to be honest. My bad, but we're great friends. Kez Asfact on GB. He's also a professional fighter now, so if you haven't seen him, go and check him out. He fought him a while back, and Kez Asfact's a really good boxer, really technical. But I think Dillian's real tough fighter, hard as nails, comes forward. It was a close fight. I remember thinking it could have went either way, but they give it to Dillian. And since then, he's continued to do well. So massive credit to him. And this is where boxing skill is one thing, but toughness. If you've got a guy who can really slug it out, get up close and personal, can take a shot in the pro game. Sometimes that's all you need. Wardley is dangerous when being hit. I see him thrown while Huni is thrown. Wardley within 5 rounds. First or second round. Just what my gut tells me. Yeah? Well, he's a bit like Nigel Benn. Nigel Benn back in the day, when he was hurt, he was dangerous. If there's any guys who are a little bit older here in the chat, you'll know who I'm talking about, Nigel Benn. Recently, his son, Conor Benn, fought Chris Eubanks Jr. Great fighter, Nigel Benn. Hard as nails. Yeah, he was dangerous. He would sit on the ropes when he was hurt, bobbing and weaving, and come back with these looping shots, and he could really punch. And Fabio Wardley is exactly the same, because this is where you get fighters who are just dogs, because some people, when they're hurt, they go defensive, and then you've got the likes of Nigel Benn, Fabio Wardley. When they're hurt, they think attack, and that's dangerous, especially when you're a puncher. If you've got that, and you haven't got the best of chin, and you're not a big puncher, it can be a real downfall. But if you can't take a shot and you can bang, it can actually be a strength, believe it or not. And don't get me wrong, there's a time and a place for firing back when you're hurt. You've got to have a balance, but so far so good for Fabio Wardley, it's worked. Max Fawcett, Wardley in 7, okay. Guys saying he's bet on Wardley in round 3. Dan Drake, I think Wardley should invest in the body early tonight and either set up the head shot KO or attack the big frame of Huni and win in similar fashion to Kabayel against Big Bang Zhang. Yeah, you're right. Definitely. It was by the way, that's a great shout, because the way Kabayel just broke Big Bang Zhang down was unbelievable. Nobody's done that to Zhang. It was great work. But then body shots literally just took his soul away. Because generally speaking, Zhang can take a shot, but we've never really seen him tested properly to the body. And Kabayel found a way. So maybe with Huni, that might be a good shout. Because we know he's got great footwork, great movement. So if Fabio can slow him down, that would be great. Because if you can get a guy blocking and defending the body, essentially scared and worried about the body shots, naturally it brings the hands down and exposes the head. So that's a good shout. Guys say Nigel Benn lost because of his temper. Yeah, that's it. And similar with Conor Benn, he was too emotional. I wouldn't say he lost his temper, but he wanted it so much that mentally he probably wasn't following the game plan. Sam Parker saying Nigel Benn lives an hour away from me. I thought Nigel Benn lived abroad. Is Sam Parker, are you from the UK or you live abroad? Well, I'm saying that. Nigel Benn's probably got a house in England. I'm sure he has. So yeah, my bad. The conscious. Last guy as instinctive as Wardley was Ben. It's not as Fabio winning this fight is when. Okay. It's not a case as if, it's a when. Okay. Confident. Cool. Cyborg boxing, the toughest boxer, Jeff the Hitman Harding. You're bringing in the whole history there. I think some of the younger people up in here might not know some of these guys. Clan McQuillan. Nigel Benn showed what heart truly is in the McLennan fight. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because like I say, people can be skillful, talented, put in the hard work in the gym to become a great fighter. But there's certain ingredients as a fighter that you're born with, in my opinion. There's an element of experience. You can improve it and become a tough fighter. I think you can teach it to an extent, but that takes time from early in your career. You can't just be a great boxer, not the most toughest guy, and just adapt. I think it's almost in your DNA. I think you've got to either have started that way in your career, or like I say, I think you're just born with it. I think there's certain traits that you can't teach. I don't care how good the coach is. And this is when you hear, this is when you get a really talented fighter, when they've got their ingredients and then you've got a great coach and you put them together and you get a superstar. Because a coach can only do so much. You know, they can't turn someone into a great fighter if they haven't got all the ingredients. Certain things you can't teach, but not things like heart. You know, a chin. You can't give someone a good chin. So yeah. Let's see, this. I think this is going to be a good fight. I think this is going to be a good matchup. And if you haven't seen Dillian before, he definitely brings value for money. He comes to fight every time. I haven't seen quite as much of O'Leary or lovely overhand right. Oh, both guys exchange overhand rights. I think this is going to be one of those fights. It's going to be a case of who lands clean first, or it's going to be back and forth. You can see when we were talking about earlier on, Lewis Richardson. This is what professional boxing is like, generally speaking. The way the guys are in the middle of the ring, you know, really setting the feet. Of course, you get your guys like Floyd Mayweather and people like that. But traditionally, a lot of the top guys plant the feet, really dig them in. The guys like Roy Jones, Floyd Mayweather, Muhammad Ali back in the day, these are kind of the rare guys in the game who can box and move. Dillian's shown some nice head movements. I've seen some improvement with Dillian. I feel like he's probably, because he's good wins, he's probably made a little bit of money from the opportunities that he's got. And he's probably now putting more into his boxing, into his camps than ever. Because a lot of the time early on, fighters have to work another job. So they're essentially not full-time athletes. Whereas when fighters get a bit of success, they start to get paid a little bit better, getting on the big shows. They can start to dedicate the time properly to boxing. So you can see that Dillian went from strength to strength. There was a shot there from O'Leary straight a little bit low. But Dillian took it. He must have a good protector on. Nice shot from O'Leary around the corner, just underneath the elbow of Dillian. Both guys, it's becoming a little bit of a battle of the jab. They're quite close quarters, but both guys are really committing with the jab. It's not like a flicky jab. It's a real step-in jab. Them type of jabs do damage. That's when you see a guy starting to get swelling. You know, the face starts to swell up. And that's what you want to do. When you're boxing and you're jabbing, your jab isn't just a rangefinder. It can be a rangefinder because you know if you land with your jab, you land with your backhand. But it also keeps your opponent thinking, keeps them off balance. It sets up your attacks. But it also can be a damaging shot. You see guys drop people with jabs. I mean, some people who really step in, they can knock people down with the jab. It's not often you see a knockout, but like I say, you can do damage because if you can essentially close a guy's eye from swelling, they're not going to see the punches coming. So I like it when I see someone with a really solid jab. So if you want to study someone with a great jab, go and watch Larry Holmes back in the day. His jab, wow, it was fast, it was sharp, it was accurate, and it was powerful. It done real damage. Let me just check this comment section out. Russell saying, who do I think will win between Parker and Dubois? To be honest, it's a difficult one because it's hard to really argue against Daniel Dubois right now because confidence-wise, he's on an all-time high. In terms of what he's doing, he's really going through his opponents. He's getting the job done. Whereas I do think Joseph Parker's a great fighter and he's very well improved. But it's hard to pick against Daniel Dubois right now. The only person I see beating him is the likes of Alexander Usyk. So I would probably say right now, and don't get me wrong, I'm saying it off the cuff here because it's not a full-gone conclusion. But yeah, I would have to pick Daniel Dubois. Come on, PS. DJ Decky saying. That was nice there from Dillian. He threw the jab and then come over with a left hook straight after. Because when you do that, your guys goes to catch the jab, leaves that side exposed, and you come around the corner. The thing I like about Dillian, he does the basics well. Well, to be honest, both guys here, it's nothing fancy. It's simple, good textbook boxing. Boxing, it's all about the basics. If you can do the basics well, you can go around the world. They say the good jab, a good right hand takes you around the block, and a good jab takes you around the world. And what that's basically saying, the jab is the most basic and the first punch you learn in boxing, and naturally the jab is the closest punch to your opponent. It goes from A to B. It's the most basic in textbook boxing. But in terms of boxing in general, in sports in general, if you do the basics well, it can take you all the way. And there's a reason why it's called the basics, because it's the foundation of anything. So if you look at any sort of business, it's like, if you go to any business, what they do is they work on getting the basics right, the foundational things, because if you get them right, everything else can build on top of it. They say a good tree has got good foundations. You know, solid foundations makes a tree flourish. It's the same with boxing. Get your foundations well, and everything builds on top of it. Oh, lovely little short, fast combination there from Dillian. He went down low to the body, then come up to the top. I think he threw like a 3 or 4 punch combination. He closed the distance really quickly. That was nice. And this is what Dillian does. He kind of as well often outworks his opponent. While the guys are kind of looking, having a look, kind of trying to figure him out almost, because he doesn't, like I say, he doesn't do anything spectacular. He's quite small in his stance, keeps everything compact, but comes forward with fast clusters. You know, he does everything basic and he does it well, and he's tough. What we're saying here in the comment section. Mark Fawcett saying Dillian hangs his head very low, doesn't he? He does, yeah. He kind of leans forward. He kind of gets away with it most of the time. But yeah, you see guys who do this because in boxing, generally speaking, you teach fighters to put the weight on the back foot and sit back, because that way you keep your head further away from your opponent, and you also have got your power punch at the back fully loaded, so you can, you know, set it up with your lead hand, and then you can transfer your weight for your power shot. But you get guys who lean in and pull away. It's almost like what you're doing is you're baiting your opponent, and I think that's what Dillian does. Yeah, Sam Parker saying the jab is the most important punch in boxing because you can use it for everything. Absolutely. And make sure you work on your jab, because I know Sam Parker was saying he's having his first amateur fight. If I can give you any advice, I know you asked this question earlier, and again, this is for anybody watching who's a boxer at any level. Keep working on your jab. Your jab can never be too good. When I won my first ABAs, I was very inexperienced. For anyone who doesn't know, I started boxing at the age of 19, and within 2 years I got to the ABA finals, and in the third year I won them. And I'm telling you now, especially in the second year, when I got to the ABA final, I got to that level of a jab because my jab was good. That's what I'm known for. Good movement, good defense, and a good jab. I hadn't really developed a good backhand at that stage. In the following year, when I developed a backhand, that's when I won, because, you know, a jab got us to the finals, because I had to fight 5 times to get to the finals. And then the second year, just that extra ingredient of a good backhand took us all the way. Yeah, Dillian does come very... Oh! Beautiful counter there from O'Reilly. O'Leary. Pronouncing it wrong. Beautiful counter. Just as I was saying, the way Dillian leans in, that's the other thing. If you lean in and you're not quick to the defense, you're leaving your head in the pocket. And O'Leary just countered him. He took it well though, Dillian, because this is what I'm saying. Dillian's tough. This is how he's got to this level. He's not the most, like I say, technical. He does the basics well. There's nothing fancy about what he does, but he's tough and he's got that dog in him. And you can see from that shot he took, because that was a good shot and it landed clean, and he's still there. And this is where the experience is. Because Dillian didn't panic. He just moved, had a look. Didn't, because when you panic, you get tense. That's when you end up, your brain's not fully engaged because, like I say, your body's going into shock, essentially. But he kept cool, and he's still there. He can definitely take a shot. This is where O'Leary's just, again, he's also, again, been patient. He didn't rush it because he knows he's in there with a guy who's, no mug. If he makes a mistake, gets a little bit greedy, he might get caught himself. I can't wait for this main event. This main event. I can't see Fabio Wardley versus Justis Huni not being a war. I mean, I can't see a fight that Fabio Wardley's in ever being boring. And that's why he's in this stadium now, getting these opportunities. Not just because he wins, but the way and the fashion in which he does it. Anthony Bardell saying Wardley and a Moses in the future likes AJ and Fury. Possibly. I'm not too sure. I really do. Oh, I'm just seeing the replay of Dillian got caught clean. He really done well to take that shot. Definitely got a chin. Yeah, I don't know if I'm not too Fabio Wardley is a great fighter at this level. I'm not too sure how he'll do at world level, but I do think Moses Atama, he's so young, and if you can continue to improve the way he has done, I think the sky's his limit. But yeah, you never know. That fight could come earlier. That fight might come sooner than we think. Because Moses Atama, he wants to move quickly. He wanted to break Mike Tyson's record. And as much as I would like him to be a little bit slower and have more learning fights, I've got a feeling he's going to want to go a lot quicker than I personally would want. And I'm saying that if I was his manager, I wouldn't want to rush him, being only 20 and not fully physically developed. But it's going to be very difficult to hold him back, I think. Yeah, Max Fawcett saying Dillian's trainer was telling him to say, stop being greedy. Absolutely, I just mentioned being greedy earlier because when you have got such a big heart and you love getting stuck in, that's what can happen sometimes. You get caught because you're getting greedy. You're forgetting about your defence. It's a fine line from being in the pocket, getting stuck in, but keeping your wits about you and keeping switched on. And I think Dillian Whyte just forgot for a split second. In boxing, all you need is a split second. It's a very unforgiving sport because, in football, if you concede a goal, you've got an opportunity to get a goal back. But in boxing, you go to sleep, you've got to wait to fight another day. There's no starting again. And this is why we love it. High risk, big reward. It's exciting. There's no other spot or another lovely overhand right from O'Leary. He's starting to time Dillian. He's definitely the more polished boxer. He's got a very patient... Oh, he's starting to mix it up head and body there. That was beautiful. I think it was... left uppercut to the head, then left hook to the body. And then he threw another left hook to the body. Because Dillian does keep a high guard, but he leans forward and he kind of exposes his ribs. He doesn't kind of keep everything compact. He's kind of predominantly protecting his head. Yeah, I feel as if O'Leary's starting to take over now. He's really, especially those body shots, because he's got Dillian on his back foot, and Dillian normally likes to come forward and apply the pressure, but even there he's throwing the jab, and he's not really throwing it fully. He was kind of throwing it but hoping he wouldn't get hit in the process. But that's because O'Leary's starting to counter him, doing some beautiful work. Yeah, O'Leary just, as the bell went, just kind of looked at him and said, yeah, I'm coming for you. What was saying here? Guy, Wardley beating Adelaide was a good fight. Absolutely. I met David Adelaide in Saudi. Lovely guy, by the way. He's a big guy in person, real powerhouse. I think Adelaide made a massive mistake in that fight. They went in a clinch, and Wardley just shoved him off. Boom. Caught him with a right hand, I think, then a left hook. And Adelaide just made a mistake, lack of inexperience. And once he was hurt off the power of Fabio, he couldn't recover. But we've seen since then, Adelaide's improved under Ben Davison. But yeah, it was a good win on Fabio Wardley's record for sure. It was a good fight. David saying Parker destroys all of them. I think Parker's a great fighter, very technical. He always has been. In the past, he lacked a little bit of self-belief. He didn't fully believe in his tools. But now, since he teamed up with Andy Lee, he's a different fighter. He's got that heart and that self-belief. This is where sometimes a really good trainer can bring out that ingredient that maybe was buried deep inside. Because Parker's, like I say, very technical fighter. He's kind of got everything, really. He can take a shot. He's got decent power. And his power could have been better in the past, but he didn't fully commit on his shots because he didn't have that belief. He was more of a, I'll hit you and get away, rather than sitting there and really digging the shot in. Because if you don't fully commit on your shot and you're thinking about hitting them, but also at the same time thinking about getting away, some of your punch, a percentage of your punch is going backwards because you're trying to pull away. If you've got the confidence to stand there, really rotate into the shot and then get away, then you can do damage. You've seen it earlier on. I feel bad, keep on using this example. But when I was watching Lewis Richardson earlier, he was thinking about getting away with his punches. He was tippy-tapping, and a bit like amateur boxing, thinking about scoring the points and getting away. You can't do that in the pro game. You've got to sink them in. Oh, beautiful left hook there, to the body from O'Leary. Yeah, them body shots. That's an investment right there. When you land those body shots, oh, Dillian just got another little right hook back to the body. But he didn't really set his feet in the way that O'Leary's doing it. He's really dipping and sinking them knuckles right through. They're real sickeners, them. Trust me, if you've ever been hurt of a body shot, I would rather be hit with a headshot than a good body shot, because you can recover off a headshot, but those body ones take your soul. And you can see that's how I think Dillian's, his hands are getting lower because he's really thinking about defending his body. And this is where a good experienced fighter, when he's got you thinking about his body shots, then that's when he just changes it up and comes to the head. So let's see how this fight progresses. Because, like I say, O'Leary's really settled well into the fight. Some nice work. But believe me, oh, a nice short right hook to the body there from O'Leary as well. But trust me, Dillian's still in this fight. He's still getting some counters himself off. But the better work's definitely coming from O'Leary. Nice. That was good. Fabio and Grover Ryder. Okay. Mark Difference. What's the stadium atmosphere like? Well, I'm not there, and I've got the sound on mute because you get done for copyright here on the streams. But yeah, I think when Fabio Wardley comes out, I think the roof will just go off. I know the roof's already off in this stadium, but I think it's going to be I think, well, you can see there, I'm just looking here on the screen to the stadium. They look like they're having the time of their life, to be honest. It's raining, but it's not affecting the spirit. Yeah, and the stadium looks pretty packed out, to be honest. It looks to be bouncing in there. Yeah, Clans is saying, I have O'Leary way ahead. He's piecing Dillian up. He is. At this stage, Dillian's still in the fight. It's competitive. But yeah, he's pulling away. I also think Dillian started to neglect his jab a little bit. He was jabbing well early. Oh, nice little right hand to the body there from him. But he's not using his jab. Yeah, Carl Frampton's got him. He's give every round to O'Leary. It's been close the round, especially early on in the first few. But yeah, probably can't argue too much with that. Because I think the cleaner work is always been coming from O'Leary. Especially in the last 3 rounds. It's been all O'Leary for me. He just tried to pull his lead hand and throw a hook round the corner, O'Leary there. He just fell short. But you can see what he's trying to do. Oh, right hand, left hook there from O'Leary. I feel like Dillian needs to do something to really put a dent in O'Leary. Otherwise, these next 6 rounds are going to be a long night. Because it's all him right now. He's going to have to really nail him to the canvas. Because Dillian's hard as nails. He'll not go anywhere unless, like I say, unless he's nailed to the canvas. But at the minute, it's looking a little bit one-sided. If you're just joining me, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Just helps me with this channel, helps me grow it. Tells the algorithm that you like what I'm doing. That's how YouTube works. It's another thing, pro boxing. You often see the guys who make it far in the game really invest in the body, are good body punchers. Because, this, like I said earlier on, a good body shot is sickening. It's horrible. Because you can be hit in the first round of a body shot, and in the 12th round, you'll still be feeling it. It just doesn't disappear. Those body shots really hurt. Whereas a headshot, it can be the same, but you can definitely recover off a headshot quicker than a body shot. I mean, don't get me wrong, if you get hit with a good body shot, headshot, you go to sleep. It can really last the full fight as well. But like I say, the body shots, they just hit different. Oh, right hand from O'Leary, I think it was just on the bell, just before. Wow. You can see Fabio just in the dressing room, looks very calm, ready to go to war. These are the moments in the dressing rooms where you start to question yourself a little bit. You know, why did I choose boxing? Why did I choose to have a fight in front of a massive stadium? But then you also, at the same time, remind yourself why you do it. Because you love the sport. You love to put a show on. And this is what I train for. Because all the work in the gym is one thing. If you don't put it into action on fight night, what's the point? And people, you know, the guys at this level, they obviously love the sport. It's an addiction. There's something about boxing, and it's a bit like it's adrenaline. It's any sport that's got risk, brings that excitement and that buzz. There's nothing like it. I mentioned earlier, as a young man, I loved all sports. I was pretty decent at most sports, but nothing got a hold of me like boxing. It's so addictive, and that's because of the danger aspect. This is why you get people, which I certainly wouldn't do, who jump out of a plane because of the adrenaline, the danger. You'll never see me jumping out of a plane, put it that way, but I certainly get the idea. Adrenaline junkie. Yeah, this is. I think this is about levels tonight. I think Dillian's just, unfortunately, at the more domestic level, he's not bad. But if you get an operator like O'Leary, who can really has got a good a high boxing IQ, it can cause him real problems. And unfortunately, this is just sports. Sometimes you find your level, and there's no, there's nothing bad about that. It's not about. It's just about finding your level and going as far as you go, far as you can. Everybody has a level. There's no shame in it. This is why people are in sports, to see how far they can go, see how far they can achieve. Of course, if you're a boxer, you want to become a world champion, you want to get to the top, but at the same time, you love the sport. It's not just about the end destination, it's about enjoying the ride. You can see the way Dillian's just constantly in close, trying to protect his body. He's really fearing them shots around the corner, but I'm just worried that all the defensive body work, he's going to get caught up top. I know he can take a good shot, but if he keeps getting caught around the old whiskers, eventually them whiskers will disintegrate. Oh, another body shot. Dillian really felt that one. He's wincing. He smiled as if to say, "You got me." But again, O'Leary's been patient. He's not just rushing it. He's giving Dillian all the respect in the world. But I would like to see O'Leary just step it up a gear, because I think if he does step it up and put Dillian under real pressure, he might be able to get him out of there. Yeah, he's smiling, Dillian. He knows he's in a fight. He knows he's in there with a great operator. Yeah, I'm really liking what I'm seeing from O'Leary. He's shown some real skill, some real class. Impressive. What was saying? Sam Parker, I personally think Caballel is better than Joseph Parker. I think Caballel is a real danger man. He's the boogeyman. Never mind Martin Bacoli. His body shot, his movement. The shot that he got caught with off Big Bang Zhang would have knocked a horse out, but he took it and got back up and went straight back in the firing line and got Zhang out of there. It was impressive. Has Parker peaked too late, guys? Saying potentially, but he's had a good career. He's been a world champion. Had he met Andy Lee earlier in his career, yeah, it could have been a different fighter, but that's life, isn't it? Just the way things go. The conscious, I only paid for this fight because of Wardley. I wouldn't have spent 20 on the undercard, otherwise Wardley will never have had a dull fight. He goes out on his shield, fair play to him. Yeah, I mean, I'm a boxing purist, so I've enjoyed all of the fights. But yeah, the undercard hasn't been absolute fireworks, but there's still been some good fights. Pulev saying Caballel is arguably the best body puncher in the heavyweight division. 100%. I totally agree with that. He is. I don't see. I'm trying to think of any other heavyweights that really invest and commit to body shots. It's funny because in the heavyweight division, quite often you don't get a lot of body shot guys who really invest in the body enough. I don't know why that is. It might be because of the biggest punchers, and when you throw body shots, you've got to make the commitment and take the risk to take a headshot. Because while you're looking for the body and your hands down near your waist, your chin's exposed, so it takes real confidence, and you've got to really set it up well. And yeah, a lot of the heavyweights don't do it. And often when you do see it, it's the smaller heavyweights who are mixing up head and body a lot more, like your Tyson style. And funny enough, Caballel isn't the tallest fighter, and he fights in quite a small stance. So yeah, he throws some great body shots. And I think as well in heavyweights, you need those fighters who are really comfortable in mid-range, mid to close range. And Caballel isn't scared to get his hands dirty. He gets, beautiful body shot there from O'Leary again. Beautiful. The way he sets it up is absolute poetry in motion. It's textbook. It's kind of like, what's he called back in the day, Mickey Ward. The way he would head and then come back down to the body with the lead hand. It's nice to watch. Otoro Gatti used to do the same thing. Double up on the lead hand. Head, body, body, head. Yeah, excellent. This fight is literally, the difference has been O'Leary's body shots. So if you're a boxer and you're not taking notes, you're stupid, because there's lessons to be learned right here in this fight. If you're a young boxer or any boxer watching, when you're watching fighters and you're studying them, it's not just the punches they throw, it's how they set them up. That's where the magic is. All the good fighters, you don't just throw your shots. You haven't just got a great left hook. You must have something else. You might have good timing, good defense where you can make someone slip and then throw that body shot. Or you've got a good jab where you blend it up. You blend your jab in and come back down to the body. You've got to look at the setup. And that's with, like I say, every shot in the book. If it's your right hand, how can you deliver that right hand? Because if you just, throw it, especially at the higher level, your opponent will see it. You've got to somehow, blend it in, disguise it, and then you can land that shot. And that's what O'Leary's doing really well, the way he's blending the shot in, and Dillian's not seeing it coming. Cyborg boxing, I've been kicked in the bladder while sparring. Sickening. No thank you. Kick in the bladder. Yeah, that would have definitely hurt. Jesus. Sovereign Saint saying, when will I be back in the ring? I would love to be back in the ring. Boxing's difficult. I'm in a stage in my career where I'm high risk for some of the up and coming prospects. And yeah, it's hard for me to get opportunities right now. If I can get an opportunity, I'll be back in the ring. But unfortunately, I've invested a lot of time into YouTube because I've had to find a way of making a living. I'm also a personal trainer. So I haven't really been able to dedicate the time to training fully because, like I say, if you're not getting fights, you don't get paid. But if I get an opportunity, damn right, you'll see me back in the ring. I'm just waiting for that phone to obviously, it's not just a case of the phone ringing. I need, a reasonable amount of time so I can get a training camp in, and I need to be paid appropriately for me to take the time out away from work. Cyborg boxing. Do I find the card girls distracting when I'm fighting? That's funny. No, well, unfortunately, when I've got somebody trying to take my head off, I can't allow myself to be distracted by the ring girls. I don't care how good they look. In the middle of a boxing fight, it's not what you want to be doing. And I've also got a good missus at home, so yeah, I'm not focusing on the ring girls. But that is funny because I have seen people in fights and the coach say, never mind the ring girl, look at me, because they've been distracted. Because sometimes they walk straight by you, shaking the arse in very little clothing. So, as males, it's understandable to be distracted. It's all the testosterone. And you've got to remember, a lot of these fighters probably haven't had sex for a long time because you're not meant to do that in the build-up to a fight. Keep all that goodness inside. But, so yeah, sometimes males at this stage in a camp are desperate, if you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, this O'Leary's starting to really beat up Dillian. It's been, I have enjoyed this fight, but it's been a little bit too one-sided, especially in this second half of the fight. Dillian's lost a little bit of ambition. I don't think he's really trying to win the fight at the minute. He's just trying to survive. I think he realises he's been outclassed and he's probably not going to win. I don't think he feels he can land that shot to get his guy out of there. Lovely footwork there from O'Leary, just took a step back, made Dillian fall short. But yeah, you can see the way he walks back the corner and he's smiling at O'Leary. It's like, yeah, mate, I'm in there with a good guy. Please don't hurt me. Okay, what we're saying here. Pulev, if Fabio comes through Huni, do you think he should play the waiting game, keep active, or do I think he should do you think he should play the waiting game but keep active as doubt that he could beat Usyk for the title? Yeah, I think the thing is, like I say, boxing, it's about timing and it's also about taking the right opportunities. In this stage of his career with Fabio Wardley, he hasn't got time on his side like a young prospect to spend years. So if he gets a big opportunity to fight the likes of Usyk, absolutely he'll take it. And I think if he wins this fight, he becomes mandatory, I think. He becomes interim champion. I think so. I might be wrong. But if that is the case, show me the money. That's what he'll be saying. At this stage in his career, do I think he could win? I don't think so. He's got the power. He might catch Usyk at the right time where Father Time has caught up with him. But right now, from what I've seen with Usyk, I couldn't see Usyk having a problem with him. I don't think there's a fighter out there at the minute that could beat Usyk. I think someone like Kabayel is probably one of the best guys out there who could potentially beat him. The only thing keeping Dillian in this fight is his toughness. And he has got a half-decent defence. He slips and bobs and weaves pretty well. He just, right now, he's not got the confidence when he is bobbing and weaving to come back with the shots. He's just playing it safe. He needs to try to throw a nice little overhand right there from Dillian. He needs to almost let O'Leary get a bit overconfident because he's really letting his hands go and see if you can just catch O'Leary. Because right now O'Leary's really in his rhythm. He's put the pressure on, head, body, mixing it up. So he's going to have to do something. Yeah, O'Leary can't miss. I keep saying that, and then Dillian does just catch him with the odd shot, especially the left hook. Because O'Leary keeps his hand down here, not round the side, so sometimes he's getting caught round the corner. It's a pretty textbook thing where fighters who have this old school, kind of a bit of a Philly shell type of style, where this low lead hand's low, and this right hand's here underneath the chin, and not round the side, you can be caught with the left hook. If you don't get it round there quick enough. And that's funny enough, if you watched Justis Huni versus Kevin Lerena, the exact same thing happened. Body shots there from O'Leary. Huni was like this in this position, and Kevin Lerena off the ropes threw a big left hook and caught him round the corner and his legs wobbled. And in fairness to Huni, he done well because it was a big shot. And Lerena can really punch. He's definitely a puncher. We're seeing what he done to Daniel Dubois. He dropped him multiple times. Had him doing the chicken dance. So yeah. I don't like the way Dillian every time at the end of the round smiles at O'Leary. He's still in the fight. Smile after. Shake his hands. He needs to dig deep and find a way. He's in there to win, and he's still in the fight. It's competitive. Yes, he's losing, but he's not getting absolutely smashed to pieces. So while he's still in the fight, why not try and win? Does he just want to save himself for another day? When you're in a big stadium fight, the good wins, the good performances create opportunities. So I don't know. He might still get an opportunity because he's tough. But yeah, let's see what happens. the fight's not over till it's over, so let's not jump too far ahead. I just seen there Conscious is saying that Dubois was injured in the Lorena fight. He was. I think it might have been a knee injury, but nonetheless, he got caught on the button and he went down. So maybe his feet weren't there to carry him out of danger, but he definitely got shook. Yeah, the only criticism I would give O'Leary, he's a little bit one geared. I feel like he's in third gear maximum. I feel like he's got fourth, fifth, and sixth gear to go. I haven't really seen him changing the pace up. Sometimes use your jab. Other times step in with combinations, go on the back foot, be unpredictable. Or if not, apply the pressure and really go for it. But I feel like everything he's doing is becoming a little bit predictable. And I think this is why Dillian's been able to survive up to now, because he was getting success with the body shots, but Dillian started to wise up to the shots, and he's not getting quite as much success with those body shots. As I say that, he just lands a flurry to the head of Dillian. But yeah, then he steps off again. He's a little bit too patient. I want to see that little bit of nastiness, step it up, and really, try to close the show. Nice head movement at times from Dillian when he's switched on. But he's kind of in defense mode on the back foot, feinting, bobbing and weaving, and not a lot of shots coming back from him. Yeah, he's definitely in survival mode. This is the thing about boxing. It takes two to tango. And I'm kind of saying that O'Leary needs to step it up. But Dillian's making it really difficult because he's not really standing there getting involved. It's all defensive work. It's hard to look good against a fighter like that. Yeah, all Dillian's doing is waiting. He's not trying to set nothing up. He's trying to steal the odd shot when O'Leary's letting his hands go, and that's it. Yeah. What we're saying here in the comment section. Sam Parker, guys, Lawrence wasn't there, but all the guys on the pain game were screaming robbery. Which fight is this one? And guys saying, wasn't that part of the pain game, gang? Yes, I still am. We'll probably be doing a live stream at some point in the future. But yeah, I wasn't in LA. Sam Parker saying it was just Wade and True Geordie. That was for the Ring Magazine event. A lot of the shows we've done has been the Riyadh season boxing. So fingers crossed we'll be involved again in the future. Conscious saying I reckon Dubois could beat Usyk. Well, we're going to find out very soon. Anthony's saying, who do I think they're lining Dillian Whyte with in August? It's been announced that Dillian Whyte from the Ring Magazine event is fighting Moses Atama, which is really interesting. So yeah, I think it's a perfect fight for Moses because Dillian Whyte's had so much time out because of various reasons, a drugs ban. He was cleared. And just at this stage in his career, he's had a lot of hard fights. He's been knocked out 3 times. I think it's a perfect fight for Moses Atama because Dillian Whyte's got slow feet. He's not the quickest. So yeah, that'll be interesting. I think it's a perfect name on a Moses Atama's record. And if you can stop Dillian Whyte, it's a really good scalp on his record. It's a shame in this fight because Dillian started really well. He was competing, but probably from like second, third round, the writing was on the wall. Unfortunately, he's just too good, O'Leary. He's got all the moves. His defense is too good. His movement, his footwork, his punch selection. He's kind of just a step ahead of Dillian all the time. I'm really going to be interested to see who O'Leary fights next because I've been quite impressed with his performance. I think the better the opponent, you might say even better O'Leary, because sometimes with fighters, I know myself, the better the fighter, your opponent, you elevate, you rise to it. And I've just get that sense that's what you're going to see with O'Leary. Because Dillian went into defense mode, it almost, I don't know how to describe it, but it took a little something out of O'Leary, took a little bit of drive. Because when you've got a fighter who really comes to fight, you kind of bounce off that energy. I mean, you get guys that just destruction regardless, and that's when you get a real star. But sometimes fighters do just need the right match, the right partner, the right dance partner, as they say. I even feel like all O'Leary's doing is just trying to see the fight out. He realised Dillian's tough. He's not going to try to really engage with me like I want him to. I'm going to see this win out. It was a good performance overall. Good performance. I think I missed this earlier on. Top Boy, Wicked Channel. You can break a fight down to a T, Lawrence. I would like what you was say about Fabio. Do you think he can go on to better things? He's raw, but I think he's a special talent. Yeah, I think he is a special talent because to have no experience as an amateur and then be on the unlicensed boxing scene, to do what he's done in the pro ranks. He beat my friend and teammate, Fraser Clark, who was a world-class amateur. He's sparred with all the top guys, Fraser Clark, AJ for years, Joe Joyce, you name it, even since turning pro. He's been in there with probably the likes of Daniel Dubois and all those guys. He's really experienced. And Fabio Wardley caved his face in, literally. So it speaks for itself. David Adelaide, another good fighter. Nathan Gorman, earlier in his career, destroyed him. Was a decent fighter, Nathan Gorman, for that level. So his record, 17 knockouts out of 18, speaks for itself. Because he showed that he's got a chin. He showed he's got power. And I know people say he's just a brawler. He's more than a brawler. He's definitely got good boxing ability. He's a bit of a counter-puncher at times. He's got great finishing instincts. He's good. And like I say, he's so early in his career, not in terms of age, in terms of his development. So if you can continue in this vein, who knows how far he can go? I think it's about getting the right fights because if they jump him too quick after this and put him in there with Daniel Dubois or Usyk, it could be a little bit too soon because, in my opinion, he's not ready for that level. Clan McQuillan saying Frank Gilfeather advocates keep your backhand in that position. I'm not going to second guess him, but I'm not comfortable in that position. I like a high guard. Yeah, someone just asking about different defensive positions as a boxer. Well, it's like anything. There's more than one way to skin a rabbit. There's, you can box like this. You can box like this. You've got your Philly shell like Floyd Mayweather, you've got your high guard here. Once people used to say that's like a British style back in the day, high guard. You know, you have completely low hands. You know, you have your switch hitters. There's all different types of defenses. You have your cross guard like this. There's multiple things. If you go and study some of the great fighters back in the day, you look at Muhammad Ali. Look at the way George Foreman used to do the cross guard. If you look at Floyd Mayweather, the Philly shell. James Toney blocks with both shoulders. There's many different styles in boxing. And it depends on your coach. Certain coaches like certain guards. But it's about, first and foremost, it's what's comfortable for you. And even if you're comfortable and you're getting caught too much, maybe you need to change your style. So that's what you get with experience. You find your style, find out what guard works for you. It's like anything. Experience, you learn these things. Top boy, do a shout out to my missus, Lawrence. Shane's called Beth. Shout out to Beth. Top boys lady. That's the first. I've never had anyone do a shout out to the missus. You might. I hope you're not setting me up to a random Beth there. I'm just trying to get to some of the comments. I may have missed some. If I've missed any of your comments, you might need to write them again and just put them in. I'll try to answer them. Cyborg Boxing saying, what was the first match you saw? For me, it was Hagler versus Hearns, age 9. I became instantly addicted for the past 40 years. That's a really good question because I can't really remember my first fight because I've got 2 older sisters who both love boxing. So I can remember like early in my boxing career, my early time watching boxing in the house was the likes of Mike Tyson versus Lennox Lewis. That comes to mind. One of the early fights I stayed up for. I watched a lot of Lennox Lewis's fights early on. Who else? David Hay was a massive person in my household. Who else? Let's think. To be honest, it's hard for me to think back because I come into boxing late at the age of 19. So I really only got into studying boxing then. And by then I'd been a casual fan watching all different boxing. But I can't really name one particular fight. But basically I've always loved fighting sports. So when I was a young kid, I was obsessed with the likes of The Karate Kid, Kickboxer, Jackie Chan, any type of fighting films, martial arts I loved. So naturally in my household, boxing was always on because my granddad was a boxer and my uncle was a boxer, both called Manny Burgo. So yeah, I think boxing's always been around us. But in terms of, to change the question for me, my favourite fighters, funny enough, in the comment section, I think I missed it earlier, I just seen it briefly, someone mentioned the death of Mike McCallum. Since I've been a boxer, I've studied him as a fighter, great boxer, the body snatcher. I love Floyd Mayweather. He was a massive name in my household, watched all of his fights. I love Carl Froch. Is a more recent guy because I boxed alongside him on GB because Rob McCracken is also his trainer and he's head of GB, the amateur team. But yeah, I could probably sit here and talk about fights in boxers. I've studied them all. I love them. I'm a real boxing addict. But I probably don't like all the traditional, there's probably a lot of guys who might watch this channel, especially the young ones, they won't know half of the fighters that I study. Oh, thank you for the super chat there. Big D Banger. Appreciate the super chat. Respect, mate. Cheers for another watch along. Respect, mate. Appreciate it. If anyone wants to donate to the channel, it goes a long way. Helps me keep doing what I'm doing. Put the time in, because like I say, if you like what I'm doing, I'll keep doing these live streams. Keep trying to bring you the best content I can. So yeah, thanks for that super chat, mate. Massively appreciated. Stanley Sir Marquez. I don't know if I pronounced that right. And what you can do with your athletic ability. I don't know if who that question's directed to, but I don't know if you've made a comment earlier on I've missed. Max Fawcett guy, I doubt Hrgovic would risk a Tama fight right now. I think he would. I think Hrgovic would fight him no problem. Definitely. I really think he would. I think Hrgovic, beggars can't be choosers because, you know, he's not the biggest, again, he's not massively marketable because of the language barrier. He's not got a massive personality. He's not the biggest a puncher. So, like I say, I think he would take any opportunity he could right now. Because Hrgovic's fights, I think I've said it before in my videos, I know he's a great fighter, but he leaves me a little bit underwhelmed in his fights. He doesn't exactly get the world of light. His fights don't really catch fire. Let me know your predictions, guys. Sam Park, I got a funny question. What fight do you hate to watch back? Have you put the reply? For me, it's Spencer versus Crawford. Heartbroken. I get where you're coming from. Yeah, there's certain fighters where I tell you what, which I hate watching back. Fabio Wardley versus Fraser Clark, because Fraser Clark's my mate. I was devastated. I was there in Saudi when he got beat. I was gutted, absolutely soul destroyed. Bear with me, guys. I'm just going to quickly nip to the toilet before this fight because they're coming out now. I'll be back with you in 1 second. Well, I'll be quick as I can. 1 second. And we're back. As quick as I can. Quick as I can. Okay. Come on, guys. Give me your predictions. Who we got? Where what? Let me see if I can quickly. Dan thinks Wardley's got it. BJH, big up Lawrence. Thank you, mate. I love it. I love the fact that people are replying to each other in the comment section. That's great. I like that interaction. The Conscious Frosh is a hero of mine in my hometown. Lee Wood, also a legend, although lesser known, had some naughty scraps unlicensed. Yeah. 100%. Lee Woods can really punch, good fighter. Yeah, he's been in some great fights. Never in a dull fight. Cyborg boxing Salvador Sanchez was a brilliant to watch. Yeah, 100%. Great fighter. He also stopped a young or Ozaz. Oh, I don't even know how to pronounce that. Nelson, yeah. Never, excuse me, haven't seen that fight. Adam Green, hi Lawrence, what do you think of Ben Shalom losing his Sky contract? I mentioned that earlier on. Yeah, that is crazy because I seen an interview earlier in the week. I think it was Thursday that Ben Shalom put out, and he kind of didn't want to talk about it when he was asked the question. He said, I've got a good relationship with Sky Sports, and then Sky Sports have just threw it out of there. So, yeah, madness. I don't know where he goes from here because you would think DAZN, that would be great. It would be great if all the boxing platforms were on DAZN. It makes it better for us fans, you know, because then we've got Queensbury, Matchroom, all on DAZN and Boxer. But yeah, I was a bit shocked, to be honest, that they've just threw that out of there. But I don't know. Let's hope that Ben Shalom joins DAZN. Adam Green, hi Lawrence, what do you think of Ben Shalom? Oh, sorry, I'm repeating that one. John with the Wind. I bet you used to watch Saturday Night Wrestling on ITV. Big Daddy, Easy. Yeah. Used to watch all of that stuff. Saturday. I mean, what happened to Saturday Night TV? I mean, I don't watch it now because the Netflix era. It's either boxing or Netflix for me. Leon Nazim was amazing. Absolutely. I think Prince Nazim was one of the best to ever come out of Britain because the way he fights, so unorthodox, the things he gets away with is unbelievable. Stanley, Wardley by KO, Huni, TKO round 10, Cyborg boxing, Leon, Wardley, KO in round 7. Oh, thank you there, Buvak Photography, with a super chat, respect mate. How well lads, get your hands in your pockets. This ain't no charity channel, streaming costs. You've heard it there, thank you mate for giving me that shout out. Yeah, anyone who wants to donate, it goes a long way. Like I say, this is my time. This is my Saturday night. I mean, I love the boxing. I love doing these streams. But it really helps for people to support the channel so I can keep doing it. Because essentially, I'm working right now. I mean, you guys are watching the boxing. I am watching it, but, you know, I'm working, trying to give you the best content I can. Give you my knowledge, break it down as it goes. So yeah, anyone who would like to donate, massively appreciated. Cyber boxing, the best boxer born in Africa. I'll have to go and check him out now. Yeah, there's a lot. Sovereign saying first 2-3 rounds will go to Huni, but Wardy will catch him on round 4 and onwards. Okay. Alex 95, Simpson versus Zuko being a cracking fight so far. Sky Sports time to watch over to Wardy though. Absolutely. I mean, I will want to watch Simpson's fight as well, but the priority tonight has got to be Fabio Wardley. This is a big fight. Heavyweight boxing. Heavyweight boxing rules. The conscious, I've got 1k on Fabio Wardley KO. I've hedged 200 on Huni points just in case he's a performance of his career tonight. But if it's good fight, I don't care what happens. I just love boxing. Let's go. Big up. Big D banger. How are lads? Is that Mackham or Geordie? You talking about me? I'm a Geordie. If you're talking about me. Adam Green, Lawrence, can we see you in the ring again? Thank you for response. Love what you're doing. How do I donate? I can't see any links. You should be able to see a link in the comment section. I think it is. See, I'm new to this, so if anyone in the comment section can explain, because I don't see it on the opposite side. Let me just check. Actually, I'll be to check actually on my phone. See if I'll go on. One moment. Yeah, you can press in the chats in the bottom corner. You can press there. If you go to the comment section, in the bottom right-hand corner where you go to write a chat, you can do it there. BJH with a super chat. Great channel. Buckle up. Let's go. Thank you, mate. Massively appreciated. If Fabio Wardley wins, where does he go next? Well, I think he might get the opportunity to fight the winner between Alexander Usyk and Daniel Dubois. Let's go. Yeah, Conscious is saying far bottom right. Thank you, guys. Helping me out there. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Oh, big 1-2 already from Wardley, trying to get him on the back foot already. Stamping his authority in his hometown. It's his stadium, he's saying. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Huni will take his time, have a look, because he's the guy who's more experienced. He won't want to walk onto anything stupid. Oh, nice jab to the body and left hook there from Huni. I say it now, this is the biggest step up in Fabio Wardley's career, in my opinion. So, you know, this isn't an easy fight. Yes, I've picked him, but this isn't going to be an easy fight either way. I can see that Huni looks quite relaxed, to be fair. He doesn't look overwhelmed. He looks quite comfortable, looks very relaxed. But the thing is, when you're fighting in someone else's backyard, the pressure isn't on you. So, he's got nothing to lose, really. You can see the way Fabio kind of leans his weight over his front foot. He has got a lot of gaps. He makes a lot of mistakes. He gets away with it most of the time because he's athletic for a big guy. And he's got that power. So he keeps people, you know, people are always wary of his power. And he's so unorthodox. But he does make mistakes. And Huni's got Fabio Wardley on the ropes. Huni catches them with the overhand right there. Fabio needs to just relax. I can see he's tense because all the pressure's on him. Because you can talk the talk, but you've got to now back it up in your hometown. Nobody wants to lose when you're headlining in your stadium in front of your fans. Yeah, Huni just showed nice feet there. Just take a step out as Fabio Wardley come in. Yeah, Huni's trying to catch him with that overhand right with Fabio's low lead hand. Trying to counter again when Fabio Wardley threw a jab to the body. Yeah, nice head movement there from Huni. I think Huni's definitely settled at the fight already. Better than Fabio. Oh, nice exchange there at the end of the round. Whoo! Yeah, BJH is saying good defense from Huni. He is, to be fair. Let's go, the Conscious says. Adam Green saying, got it, thanks, give me a second, I'll do it now. Thank you, mate. Appreciate it. Big D banger. Oh yeah, he knows who the best South African. Shout out to. Okay. Guy, Wardley took Huni too lightly. Maybe. I don't think so. He's from a very good stable. I don't think he would have took him lightly. The simple fact is he's not that experienced. So maybe just he's struggling adapting because Huni's shown some really good skill. I just seen on the replay there a nice left hook at the end of the round. Fabio took it well, to be fair. I don't know if he was wobbled at the end, that Conscious is saying. Yeah, first round probably to Huni. so unorthodox. Fabio Wardley, he stepped in with a 1-2, and then when he finished that, he threw another lead backhand. He just does things so unorthodox. Nice stab into the body there from Wardley. And then he tried to follow it up with a right hand over the top. Bring the hands down, then come back over. But Huni was wise to it. I can't lie. I'm liking what I'm seeing from Huni. Nice movement. Nice defense. He's reading everything that Wardley's doing up to now. I think Wardley's got very long arms as well when he's jabbing it. Oh, nice left hook there from Huni. And I think Wardley felt that. Because he's been carrying, we've just been talking about it earlier in the stream, carrying his lead hand in front, wide open for that left hook. This is why when I coach people, I always tell them the power shot, that's what you want to be protecting. Yes, the jab comes more, but I'd rather be blocking here and be ready for that left hook than the other way around. Especially with the more inexperienced fighters. And that's what Huni took advantage of. I hope Wardley gets wise to that. Otherwise, he could get himself hurt. Back of the shot on the back of the head there from Wardley. He didn't seem to like it. He tried to act as if he felt that a little bit. I feel as if Huni just boxes, he's going to get success. He doesn't really need to be trading with Wardley, but maybe he's confident and he feels like he can outfight him. But if he gets caught, because you can never ever count Wardley out, because he's got that power, devastating power. It does remind me a little bit of when Wardley fought Fraser Clark, because in the first fight, the superior boxing skills, what's the difference? Because in my opinion, I thought that Fraser won the first fight, but because of the knockdowns and Fraser got a point taken off him, they made it a draw, which I couldn't really argue with. But we know this. We know that Fabio Wardley's far from polished. But yeah, he's got that dog and he finds a way most of the time. Well, all of the time, bar one, when he got the draw against Fraser Clark, and he did hurt him twice. And then the second time, we see what happened. He ended it in like 2 rounds, destroyed him. So it's hard to count Wardley out until he's until Wardley's probably nailed to the canvas. Come on, Fabio, people are saying, go to the body, Justis, Cyborg's boxing saying. Big D, not sure about Huni's chin. Yeah, well, this is the thing. Everybody hits hard at heavyweight. So if you get caught on the chin, you can wobble, you can be put down. In his pro career, he's only been hurt off Lorena, from what I've seen. And he won the fight still. So, and there was that footage of the sparring footage, but it's sparring, things happen. But yeah, the jury's definitely out. But at the same time, the jury's out on both guys. There's a lot of questions to be asked of both of them. Different reasons. Oh, left hook again from Huni. See, but he comes out of the counter there, Fabio. This is where Huni needs to be careful, exchanging. But Wardley needs to make an adjustment for that left hook because he's wide open for it. I don't know why he doesn't get his hand on the side of his face. It's such a simple adjustment. He's inside and he's only really blocking the shots up the middle. He needs to get his hand here. I've got a feeling Huni's going to catch him again with his left hook and hurt him. This is the inexperience. When you get hit with a shot multiple times and you don't make an adjustment, this game's far too hard to not learn from these mistakes. You've got to learn fast. Otherwise, you end up asleep. It's as simple as that. It's very unforgiving boxing. Yeah, Huni's in his rhythm. He's relaxed. He's walking Wardley down. And Wardley traditionally is a bit of a back foot fighter at times if you watch some of his fights. So that's not unusual because he's quite, he's very mobile for a big guy. There's that left hook again. He's getting caught every time with it. And I think there was a clash of head earlier. I don't know if that's opened a cut on Fabio Wardley's nose again because that's all the problems he needs. Yeah, Huni's looking for that left hook. He's done a roll and then tried to come up with a left hook. Yeah, that was a little bit better there. He's seen the left hook there, Wardley. Oh, nice foot off the ropes there, Wardley. Wardley's really letting his hands go. But overhand right from Wardley. But he's using a lot of energy here. Let's see how he goes. Let's see how his engine holds up. Come on, it's starting to heat up already, round 3. This is the thing. Wardley's never in a dull fight. This is why I love watching him fight. I had this discussion earlier in the week with True Geordie, and he was saying, Fabio Wardley is one of the most exciting heavyweights to watch. He's entertaining. And he is. This is what you get when you haven't got polished fighters. What they lack in skill, they make up for in heart. Fight, that fighting ability, that dog. Because you need to have it. Because you haven't got the skills. I'm not saying that Fabio Wardley hasn't got skills. But he's still limited. But he makes up for in his dog. Yeah. Power. I'm excited. I'm loving this. Yeah, I think that's another round. Did Wardley make up in the end of the round with that flurry of combinations? Could you say 2-1 to Huni? Am I being kind? Yeah. BJ saying Wardley's hands far too low. He's sitting here. Get it here. If you're getting caught with uppercuts in straight right hands, get your hand here. But if you're getting caught with the left hooks, you've got to get it here. If not, you've got to be, have your peripheral vision looking for it. You've got to be aware. You can't get repeatedly getting hit with the same shot at heavyweight. You can't do it. Oh, Wardley's going for it here in the opening round. Don't get overconfident, Wardley. This is where the dog comes out. He's like a vicious dog without a muzzle. He's hard to hold back when he gets going. Oh, overhand right there. Oh, he's really swinging them in, Wardley. He's putting a lot into those shots. It's only round 4. And he looks like he is breathing a little bit. That's the nerves, the pressure. When you're headlining, all that pressure and weight on your shoulders, it drains the battery before you've even got into the ring. And then it's took him a little bit of time to settle into it. Yeah, he's just fainting in there. He needs to do that more because at the minute, Huni's, lovely overhand right there. Huni's really showing the experience at times here. Oh, uppercut. Then Wardley just rolls out the way. Oh, nice body shots from Wardley. Come on. Wardley responded well. I think I'm going to lose my voice here. The excitement, the energy. Come on. Nice head movement there from Huni. At times, Wardley does show nice feet, but his hands are so low. You've got to have both at times. Oh, there's that overhand right from Huni again with low lead hand. Oh, Wardley gets underneath the first left hook, but gets caught with the second. He definitely needs to learn to pick his hands up at times. When you're at range, the load guard works. But look at Floyd Mayweather in the Philly shell. Even when he's in the pocket, he picks his hands up. You've got to learn when to transition between different defences. Same with Muhammad Ali. back in the day, low hands, but in the pocket, he picked his hands up. Oh, Huni's letting his hands go here. Yeah, Wardley's doing the right thing. Hold on. Start again. Oh, nice body shot there from Huni as well. Oh, Wardley threw a shot. Oh, nice. He landed, he threw one, massive one, and missed. But then he did do a pull counter, and I'm not sure if it landed properly, but he nearly hit the lights in the arena. He nearly hit the sky. Jesus. This is the thing with Wardley. When he lets his hands go, he puts everything into it. That's why he's so dangerous, because there's full commitment on the shots. Sam Parker saying, what the hell's Frampton watching? I don't know what the commentary is because I've got it muted. But I take it he's maybe saying Fabio Wardley's winning. Yeah, that's definitely a Huni round. Finley's Dobson saying Fabio will get him, I think. Cyber boxing, Frampton needs glasses. Left hook galore from Huni, BJH. Jay Greens, Wardley versus Franklin. Another great fight. Keep smashing the body, Justis. Yeah, Huni's just in certain ranges is really exposing the mistakes that Wardley's doing. That's better from Wardley. He needs to use his jab. He's just pawing with it, touching with it. He's not actually using it like a weapon. You've got to use your jab like a weapon. You can't just try to use it as a rangefinder and looking for the big backhand. But when you've knocked out nearly every... Oh, overhand right there. See, them overhand rights are dangerous if they land. And there's a few of them being, millimeters away from Huni. If it lands high in the... Oh, counter. Oh, lovely little right uppercut left hook there from Fabio. Got a little bit excited, thought you'd hurt Huni. Trying something different there for Wardley, trying to whip the uppercut up the middle. The thing where I think people underestimate Wardley, he's definitely a thinking fighter because he tries things. But yeah, definitely holds in his repertoire, or his armory, should I say. But there's definitely some IQ in there. He's not just a power puncher. And I know that because Ben Davison is a clever, great strategic coach. So I know that he doesn't just, get a brawler in and make him let his hands go. There's definitely method in the madness. Oh, nice body shot there from Wardley. But Huni returns the favour. And Wardley looks to hold. So he obviously got the better of them body shots. He definitely looks the more tired person, Wardley. But maybe that's just the way he is. His body language kind of can give that off at times. But he might just have a relaxed, lazy style. Oh! Jab, then he stepped in with an uppercut as Huni dipped down and he just missed with it. If that had landed... Oh! Oh! The exchange blows. I think Huni caught him with another lovely left hook. It's the left hook every time. Frustrating. If I'm in the corner and he's coach, I'm screaming at him, get your hand up. I mean, it's actually frustrating me why he's not picking his left hand up. Huni needs to really take advantage of that. Come on. What a fight. It's exactly what I thought it would be. I knew it would be entertaining because Fabio's aggressive style, Huni's likes to stand in the pocket, bobbing and weaving. It could not be a great fight. sometimes styles just gel beautifully. The conscious saying Wardley's too heavy on the front foot. Huni's nose is bleeding now though. He's often puts his weight over his front foot. Top boy, Fabio has got his work cut out here. He certainly has. Oh, that uppercut did land. Oh no, sorry, that was a different uppercut on the ropes. Both guys are landing some good work. Chris, like you, Huni needs to teach him a boxing lesson. Well, Fabio's definitely going to take some learning from this fight because Huni's boxing ability is definitely giving him trouble, serious trouble. It's just a case of can Huni capitalise on it and stay out of danger for the next 6 rounds? Well, 7 rounds. Because as long as Fabio Wardley is... Oh, left hook again. Jesus. You can definitely take a shot, Fabio. Yeah, wow. Carl Frampton has got Huni only up by 1 round. And he gave him the first 2 rounds. And those were the rounds I definitely gave to Huni. Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know what Carl Frampton's watching. Maybe he's seeing something from an angle that we can't all see. Yeah, Cyborg Boxing saying Wardley has... Oh, left hook after left hook. I mean, come on. Oh. Was Wardley hurt there with the right... Oh, another overhand right. Wardley really needs to find something here. Because I feel as if Huni's just warming up. I feel like he's really in his groove. But saying that, when he fought Kevin Lerena, it was exactly the same. He was in his groove and he got clipped. So he was lucky in round 10 that he survived it. Had that been round 8 or 9, could have been a different outcome. So like I say, Huni sometimes does switch off and get caught. So let's see how it goes. Yeah, he's up on his toes, he's confident, he's relaxed. But the problem is, it's funny because with Wardley, if you give him too much room, you give him time to generate his power. And in close, you know, he's also can be dangerous. He's almost better in the middle range, the mid-range to fight Wardley almost. I mean, it's difficult because Wardley can be successful at all ranges, but definitely don't give him space because that's when he gets maximum leverage on his punches. Oh, big overhand right from Huni. Oh, and another one. But he stands up tall and just takes it again. Wardley needs to make himself small, get his chin behind his shoulder. If you're going to have a lead, low hand, you've got to have your chin down, tucked into your shoulder to protect the shots coming around the corner. You know, or turn the shoulder like Floyd Mayweather done. But he kind of stands there square on with a low lead hand. It's just... This is where his lack of experience as an amateur, you know, honing his style, making adjustments over time, that's when he gets caught. And in the past, his good chin is what keeps him in the game. But yeah, like how long can you continue taking shots, especially as you go up the levels? Yeah, it's a problem for him. It's a big problem. He needs to really stop learning and making those adjustments soon. Otherwise, he's going to be knocked out badly, or he's going to end up with, you know, bad brain damage later in life. It's that simple. Yeah, Cyborg Boxing saying Huni's schooling him. He kind of is at the moment. Guy, have we seen Wardley knocked out yet? Previously? No, I don't. Wardley's never been knocked out. Oh! Every time Huni catches... Oh, Jesus. Wardley just went for broke with the biggest hook. He reminds me, different style, but he's like back in the day, Joe Fraser. If he missed with his big left hook sometimes, he would fall off balance or spin round. He put that much into his shots. Wardley just picked his right hand up a little bit. It's round 7, he's starting to learn. Get that right hand round the corner. Oh! And a big right hand as well. From Huni. Huni's really warming up now. Come on, Fabio really needs to do something. He needs to find a shot. Because there's still a long way to go in this fight. And he's starting to take a lot of punishment. That's going to have a this is going to... What's happened here? What's happened? The gum shield come out. Oh, Huni's gum shield's come out. You can see Frank Warren at ringside shouting at him. Probably saying, get your your right hand up. Yeah, I think he's got everyone worried. And I'm not surprised. Because right now my prediction of Wardley finding something is getting less and less as I'm witnessing this. What's happened there? Is Wardley hurt or did he lose his footing? His back foot seemed to... Was it rolled? And Wardley's face is really starting to mark up now. Nose damage, eye damage, pride damage. There's a lot of damage happening right now. And the head movement from Huni is also starting to make Wardley hesitate with his shots. Because that's what happens when someone makes you miss wildly. You start to worry about, being vulnerable and being countered, which is happening. Huni's, countering him all the time. Yeah, he's hesitating again, Wardley. He's starting to doubt himself a little bit. Yeah, he's taking a lot of shots here. I mean, I've seen him take shots like this against Fraser, but I think Huni's got quicker hands than Fraser Clark, so the speed is the difference. And he's got better footwork than Fraser Clark. And better head movement. I think he's a better boxer all round, to be honest. And that's my old teammate and friend, so I don't say that lightly. Oh, overhand right there. Right hook from Wardley. Oh, but then Wardley's taking some shots. How he's taking them, I don't know. Puffy left eye, Wardley, yeah, he certainly has. He's taking right hands, left hooks. Wardley's getting stopped. What Cyborg Boxing saying? Yeah, Sam Parker saying he's being dominated. Madness. Yeah, it's really hard to give a round to Wardley. I think there's oh, God, I'm just seeing on the replay this straight right hand. Wardley took it bang on the button. Big shot. There's no doubt that Wardley's feeling these shots because there's some beautiful... It's not just the power of the shot, it's the accuracy. And Wardley's not seeing them coming. And those are the shots that do the damage. Yeah. It's the defense. I mean, this makes me think. I've give Ben Davison in the past a lot of credit. And then, after the performance I seen Anthony Joshua against Daniel Dubois, I was like, wait there a second. There's something he's either not teaching AJ or stylistically, it's just a bad matchup. And then I'm watching here the defense again of Wardley. And I'm thinking to myself, what's he teaching him defensive-wise? Yes, he's teaching him attack and footwork, but his inside game, defensively needs massive improvement. Because he's getting a boxing lesson on the inside here. This was not the performance. I always thought that, Huni could outbox him. That was never in doubt. But I just thought that Fabio Wardley would find a way. I thought he'd find a way to land the shot. But in the process, I didn't think you'd be taking this much damage, getting hit so cleanly. Yeah. It is crazy. He's taken a lot of punishment. A lot of punishment. I mean, taking punches in boxing is bad enough, but in heavyweight, no thank you. No thanks at all. I mean, I love boxing. Getting hit is part of the game. But if I'm going to have a defense like this, I'm going to go and find another job. You know what I mean? There's no way I'm taking punches like this for fun. You know, every once in a while, you're going to get a guy that's got quicker hands, better timing, and maybe just, you know, better, more skilled all round. But I'm starting to see too many of his fights. You know, from the Fraser Clark fight, have I seen any improvement defensively? I don't think I have. He needs to be making this sort of improvement because naturally he's going up in levels. If you don't improve as you go through the levels, you get found out and you get beat. And that's every single fighter. You have lessons all the way up. But if you don't learn from them lessons, whether you get stopped, whether you have a fight where you take a lot of punishment, if you don't go away, make adjustments and improve, you know what I mean? You can't do the same thing and expect a different result. You can't rely on just the power. And unfortunately, that's what he's doing. And a lot of the time in his fights, 17 of the 18, the power has been enough. He's found the shot. It was only Fraser Clark that took him the distance, I think. And that was one hell of a war, a fight of the year contender. But you don't want every fight being a fight of the year contender because that tells me and tells everybody else that you're taking punches and giving punches. No fighter, you just don't need fights like that. It's not good for your brain. It's as simple as that. It's good to have it in the bag, the toughness, because every once in a while it will happen. But if it gets to the stage where every fight is an absolute war, boxing might not be for you. Or maybe you've just found your level and it's time to check out and find something else. Make a bit of money and go elsewhere. Yeah, Morris, I think it's Morris, if I pronounced it correctly. Huni's style is so clean. Love it. Yeah, he is boxing really well. He's got some great fundamentals in there. And maybe it's a case of Fabio Wardley's lack of, being a polished fighter is making him look even better. But yeah, generally speaking, he's a top amateur. I think it was a world bronze medalist as a senior, is a junior gold medalist. So we know he's a great fighter. And I think I made a statement as well saying I'm not sure if Huni has adapted his style into the pro ranks. Well, I think I retract that statement because from what I've witnessed tonight, and yes, you could argue it's the inexperience from Fabio, and it's given him the confidence to set his feet, be a bit more relaxed, sink the shots in a bit more. Styles make fights. It's just the way it goes. But yeah, I am liking what I'm seeing. I'm impressed. Oh, nice uppercut there from Wardley. Wardley's got a few... Wardley's got 4 more rounds. He's stabbing to the body and looking for the overhand right, but he's not throwing it. He's got 4 more rounds to get him out of there. Otherwise, this is going to be a boxing clinic from Huni. What he wants to hope, I've just seen in the comment section, Huni is big so he could gas out, but he's young. I think Wardley could do with Huni gassing out. Because I'm not too sure if this is Huni's first 12 rounder, but But Huni's the one inflicting the damage, taking it out of the tank of Wardley. And you can see the way Wardley wants to hold and walk him back. He's definitely feeling it because the cumulative punches that he's taken drains you. And even the power in Wardley's shots is starting to diminish. He's looking quite lazy with his shots. He's definitely feeling it. Yeah, he's thrown a few hooks there inside and there's not much on it at all. Yeah, this isn't the homecoming Wardley wants. Oh, overhand right. He's hurt. He's definitely hurt. His body language in his face. He definitely was a moment there where he thought about going down. He winced. This is the thing, you can't keep getting hit. The cumulative effect is starting to take over now. You can't keep on taking heavyweight punches and not expect to, end up on the canvas. Jesus. I can honestly say, I'm not sure if I can give Wardley a round. I'd have to watch it back, but there was a couple of rounds where, I think it was the end of the round, maybe the round 3 or 4, where Fabio Wardley got a little bit of success, and you could argue it might have swung the round for the judges. Excuse me, but that's it. Cyberboxing, too many doubted Huni's chin because of the sparring KO, but Huni was KO'd early that day at work. Yeah, I think you told me that in the comments of my earlier video. Yeah, maybe that is the case. Fair play if that was the case. But the simple fact is as well, if you don't land the punch, you don't have to have a great chin. And up to now, Wardley hasn't been able to land that shot. So, I've always said, the best chin is the ones that don't get hit. What's happened here? Oh, he's forgot to put his gum shield in, Huni. Yeah, pick that guard up. Wardley needs to pick his guard up. Like I said earlier, if the low guard's working, keep doing it. You're getting bashed up, pick your hands up. It's simple as that. It's the easiest defense. All you're doing is blocking some of the target. Rather than exposing the full target, you're reducing the surface area. It's so simple and obvious. Why keep getting bashed up, taking unnecessary shots, when simply picking your hands up will make all the difference? It's crazy. Especially as you tire, your reflexes and your hand speed isn't the same. Picking your hands up, just help you out. I really hope whatever happens tonight, Fabio Wardley goes away and does some serious learning and, makes the adjustments. Because if he wins, if he's able to somehow pull it off, and then he's got to go up and level again and fight even better opponents, he's going to be in big trouble. Oh! That's what I'm talking about! Wardley's still got that power! Boom! If he pulls this off, that is amazing. Oh my, it's off! Wow! No way! Fabio Wardley take a bow. That's what I'm talking about. Can Huni take his power? I said, unless you nail him to the canvas, he's always got that power. Wow! What have I just witnessed? What have I just witnessed? Absolutely unbelievable. Oh my days. Oh my days. He was giving him a boxing lesson. Huni was giving him a boxing lesson. I would argue he probably hasn't won a round, and then he does that. He pulls it out. This is the thing in boxing. When you've got that get out of jail card and you've got a good chin, as long as that fight's still happening and you're still on your feet, you've always got a chance. Thank you so much, Consis, for the super chat. Just to make me even happier. That's another icing on the cake. Wow. I mean, what a night for Wardley. Jesus. He still needs to go away and make some serious adjustments, because guess what? The level now is going to go up. And how's he going to cope with the next level? Frank Warren is relieved. He is over the moon. I think the full team are, to be honest. I think his coach is. And you can see by Wardley's reaction, he's looking up to the gods saying, thank you so much. You helped me, because, you know, it took God to help him out there, because he was losing every round. He was getting beat up. Let's go, Conscious. Let's go. Wow. Jesus. Hey, Max, I won my bet. Well done, mate. Congratulations. J Bags, now that was unexpected. Guy, I thought it was impossible for Wardley to get that comeback. I said it in my predictions that Wardley will find a way. Forgetting the inexperience, the lack of amateur pedigree, he's got ingredients that you can't teach. He's got that power, he's got the chin, he's got the heart, and he's got that dog. When you've got that dog, he's vicious. He's like a pit bull. Unbelievable. He's got one punch power. Devastating. Wow. Shit. Oh. See what I'm saying? And I've said it before. He's not just a banger. He picked that shot beautifully. He dipped to the left on the outside and threw his right hand. It's how you set the punches up. He threw the right hand the same time as Huni. Huni got greedy, got overconfident. Boom. Shit. Unbelievable. That was Huni's fight to lose. Yeah, Huni's going to be gutted, because when you've won every round, you've nearly seen the light at the end of the tunnel, and then that happens to you. Unbelievable. Yeah, the Conscious, the equaliser, absolutely. BJ Hayes gutted for Huni, but that's heavyweight boxing, absolutely. I'm just looking at the reaction of Frank Warren, over the moon. Yeah, because that's his golden boy. Well, one of his golden boys. You never want your top guys to lose, of course. That's a business. That's boxing. But, you know, if I was a betting man going in that round, I wasn't really giving Fabio Wardley much of a chance, because he was starting to wilt a little bit. He looked hurt. His energy was gone. You can see the reaction from his face, how happy he is. I need to try and listen to some of this. Unbelievable, that, you know. Unbelievable. I'm absolutely over the moon there for Wardley. Because, you know, I'm obviously back the British guy. I mean, I don't always just back the British guy, but, you know, it's in his hometown. I don't personally know much about... Sorry, I hadn't watched many of Huni's fight until this fight was announced. Then I'd done my research. So, yeah, I'm happy for Fabio Wardley. Unbelievable. Is this connected? Unbelievable. I'm just going to take a listen to some of these. This is madness, you know. Absolute madness. Absolutely crazy. Oh, wrong one. Just trying to connect this. Absolutely amazing. Why is these headphones on? What's it connecting to? Try again. Unbelievable. I'm literally in shock after that. Rematch. Cyborg Boxing wants a rematch. Can't wait for July 19th, the big one. Yeah, Conscious saying that's a win-win. Huni's stock has gone up. Well, he's definitely, the boxing world now know who he is. So, yeah, you could be right there. Don't know what this is, why this is not connecting. Try it again. Yeah, his stock's definitely gone up because he's went across the pond. And this was a fight at short notice. I mean, I think he still had 6 weeks or so. This is why. It's connecting. Right, let me just get this. I just want to hear what. Asking Fabio, he knew he was down. What was he thinking? Respect to Wardley. He's saying, you know, he doesn't claim to be an Alexander Usyk, but he knows he can dig deep and find a way, and that's absolutely what he's done. He said he was disappointed. He, he, he's, say, he's basically saying he didn't execute his game plan, the mistakes he made, but this is the level. He jumped up in level, and this is always going to happen. Every fighter, as they go up, come across certain tests where they struggle. And Fabio Wardley found a very good fighter in Huni, and that's what happened. There's no shame in it. I think, listen, Fabio Wardley is just beating a world-class amateur, and as a professional, pulled out an absolute punch of a lifetime. You know what I'm saying? So, no shame. You can take a lot of credit for that, and he should give himself a pat on the back for finding a way. But what I do want to see is him going away and do some serious learning and make some adjustments, because he will be badly hurt as he goes up in levels. The likes of Daniel Dubois, people like that. Alexander Usyk will take him to school. Let's just hear from Huni. Massive respect to Huni. Really disappointed for him. This is what I said. He switched off for 1 second. We've seen it in fights. He gets greedy, switches off. Huni got greedy. I really do hope that Huni gets more opportunities, because in my opinion, he deserves it. He put on a clinic for 10 rounds up until the knockout. Got into his groove early, looked relaxed, wasn't overwhelmed with occasion. He come into Fabio Wardley's backyard and put a great display on. So I really hope that he, gets more opportunities. And he's given credit to Fabio, which is great. He's a real gentleman. Wow. The guy is just saying the nose score's always splitting, but he took a beating. Yeah, it didn't bleed too much, the nose score. It's, at least the bleeding's not running into the eyes. It's the cuts around the eyes that really do the damage. Yeah, Cyborg Boxing saying Huni should have just boxed and moved in the last few rounds. Hindsight's a beautiful thing, but that's boxing. Kyle's saying Wardley gets taken out if he goes against one of the big boys. Possibly. He's had a few real tough fights. Fraser Clark twice. Now this fight, tough. He needs a good couple, he doesn't need to fight for another 6 months, in my opinion. He needs to go away and just, I'm not saying not to train, but go away and have a couple of weeks off training, and he needs a good rest, because he's had some really tough camps, tough fights. I wouldn't be rushing back in the ring. He needs to go away, get on the road, sparring with the top guys, learn his craft in the gym, because if he doesn't, he's going to struggle at the next level. Because the next level is a big jump. Fabio Yeah, Frank's just saying it'll be the WBO, which will be the mandatory for Daniel Dubois versus Alexander Usyk. He's just saying how Wardley's going to take some time off because he's got some. I think he's either got young children or he's got a young one on the way. And yeah, like I say, he needs a rest. He needs to go evaluate his boxing, make some serious adjustments before he gets to that next level. Yes, there'll be massive money in it, which is great. But yeah, it's an interesting one. Our guy's just saying I think he's just had a child. Cyborg boxing. I can't see Wardley beating Kabayel Usyk. No chance. No chance. Kyle saying very graceful in defeat and a good fighter. Defo a fan of Huni. Unbelievable. Really good guy. Just a gentleman, and that's what boxing's about. It's meant to be about being respectful. Absolutely. Well, guys, make sure to like and subscribe before I call it a day. And if anyone wants to make a donation before I head off, it goes a long way. I'd be much appreciated. Let me know. Yeah, that's what you call a Rocky film. That I mean, I've said it time and time again. The fans want to see blood and guts. And I said it again. I'm repeating myself. Every video I've said, time and time again, he finds a way, and it's like a Rocky film. Because when you're not polished, you get hit. It's as simple as that, especially in this level. But people want to see Rocky films getting put down, getting cuts, getting back up, putting your opponent down. And that's what happens with Fabio Wardley. How he didn't get put down, I'll never know. Thank you, Sam Parker. Great stream, Lazar. Warren Jackson, always good stream, pal. Thank you, mate. Much appreciated. But yeah, that was a great stream. I really enjoyed it. And thanks for all the guys that have joined me, guys and girls. Massively appreciated. I'll look forward to the next one. Okay. Is there any questions before I wrap up? I'm BGH. I'm out next. Nice one, Lawrence. Nice one, people. Until the next adventure, absolutely. Guy, yo, Frank, we did it. Class. Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. It's been a great stream, great fight. Really enjoyed it. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already.